huge matchup. Davis Alexander and the East leading Alouettes welcome the only team to beat them this season at Montreal, the 6-2 Elks. Alexander has thrown 300 or more yards in 7 of his last 8 games. We'll see what he has in store today.
Yeah, big reason why they were able to beat him is this guy right here, Cody Fajardo. And the Elks are relevant again, and the big reason is because of Cody. He's on pace for a history-making season. But the things he needs to do now is try to beat these Montreal Alouettes.
The fastest Canadian receiver to 1,000 yards. Tyson Philpott is having an amazing season this year. And he's already got so many yards this year. This year, he's going to get some more tonight.
Some more this year. Let's do it.
He's going to get more. He's going to get more tonight. Gabe Burness alongside Enoch Mwamba and Milt Stiegel as we get set for that Saturday doubleheader. Coming up a little later on, the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the BC Lions. A very interesting game, to say the least. And by the way, are you two okay? I tuned into the broadcast last night. You're trying to punch each other back here. Poor Laura's in the middle of it. You okay? Things okay? You're doing all right?
Milt missed all his swings.
Every single, actually, one of them nearly connected. I just saw the replay of it. Milt, you got to give me a key matchup for the game today.
Yeah, 2 Canadian stars, Tyrell Ford, Tyson Philpott. These 2 young Canadians are playing some excellent ball, maybe the best of their career. We know Tyson is, but also young Ford, he's showcasing why he's one of the best cover corners in the CFL. So that's going to be a matchup. They won't match up every play. They move Tyson Philpott around a lot. But that's going to be a matchup that I'm one to watch.
You know who I'm looking at today, Milt? It's going to be Justin Rankin. I know we've talked quite a bit about him already this season, but we see the slump that he's been in. And then I'm going to put offensive coordinator Jordan McSimic on the stand right now. And I don't want to rain on their parade because they're having a good season this year for this team in Edmonton. But the talent that they possess in Justin Rankin, it's hard to explain why he's in the slump that he is. And we know that he has his talent. It is undeniable. We got to be able to put him in a perfect situation for him to just continue to play.
You just put it on the offensive coordinator. That's what you put.
We know he's got the skills. We've seen it. He's put it on tape.
Yes. Well, last time they played, he had 230 total yards and 2 touchdowns. He needs to try to match that.
I think he's going to get yards. Lots of yards.
Lots of them tonight, Kate.
Lots of yards in Montreal. And by the way, too, this is a packed house in Montreal. The atmosphere should be absolutely electric for this one this afternoon. The best in the West, the best in the East going head-to-head. Marshall Ferguson and Dwayne Ford with the call on this one right after this.
Shot way down the field for Johnson, and it's taken away. Tyrell Ford's done it again.
Judy Wood of Qualicon Beach, BC. This is your chance to win big. Thanks to Save On Foods' $1 million touchdown to win. If the kickoff is returned for a touchdown, you could win groceries for a year. If 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns, you could win $1 million. Good luck, Judy. Let's get you to Montreal. It's Marshall Ferguson, Dwayne Ford.
Thank you, Kate, and welcome to Montreal. It is a spicy Saturday here. Hot as can be. Dwayne Ford and I drenched as we get set for the hottest 2 teams in the Canadian Football League. It's the Edmonton Elks and the Montreal Alouettes. Thank you for being with us, of course, here on the CFL on TSN. Dwayne, you going to survive the game? We're okay?
Just got to hydrate.
Yeah, got to hydrate. That's okay. We got 2 great quarterbacks here, and they know each other all too well.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 guys that have faced each other, obviously, most recently, but former teammates. Cody Fajardo, a Grey Cup champion, Grey Cup MVP with Montreal in 2023. An excellent mentor during his time in Montreal to one Davis Alexander, a favorite to be the league's MOP, the only team to defeat him in the regular season, however, in his career. The Fajardo-led Edmonton Elks.
Yeah, it took overtime to get the job done, which is fitting for how hard it's been to beat Davis Alexander in his career. Jason Moss coming off of a victory against the Ottawa Redblacks on the road. A happy team coming home, and it's the Edmonton Elks led by Mark Killam, who feels like he enjoyed the moment, having that big crowd back at Commonwealth Stadium, competing with the defending Grey Cup champions Saskatchewan Roughriders, but certainly wishes he would have been able to punctuate the big date at home with a little bit of something else. The Montreal Alouettes, they have won the toss. They want the football immediately for Davis Alexander. 28 feels like 37. Let's play some football. In Montreal, Devontae Dedmon is back to return and gets it across the 30 and spins his way out of bounds just shy of the 33-yard line as Davis Alexander. He's never lost here at home in front of these fans, and it's a packed house today cheering him on.
This Montreal team seems like they are just gaining momentum behind their star quarterback, Davis Alexander, in his second full season as a starter. You see the numbers, absolutely remarkable, but I'm still not sure that those numbers express the level of dominance with which this team has performed so far in 2026.
Alexander, one more look at the play van here as the suddenly surging Edmonton defense digs in. And early on, he'll pull the football away from the run game, get it outside. Cole Speaker makes a man miss, crosses the 40, and he gets a first down on first down. And this Montreal offense starting to find some comfort going to 17.
Yeah, and this Montreal offense certainly led by their offensive line. One of the keys to it has been the development of second-year man, former first-round pick, Tiger Shanks at right tackle. Now in the receiving corps, Tyson Philpott, for obvious reasons, has received a lot of attention. But the scary thing is we're overlooking the fact Tyler Snead is second in the league in receiving.
Yeah, they've both been special so far and playing off of each other as well as Travis Tice gets his first touch and Joel DeBlanco right there to make the tackle. One of the leaders on this Edmonton defense right here.
Yeah, and this group has been good and seems to get better all the time. Key addition in the offseason for them, Malik Carney at the defensive end spot. Thrilled to welcome back to the lineup Nick Anderson. He comes off the injured list to resume his spot at middle linebacker. And you heard Milt talking in the pregame about Terrell Ford. Little battle of the twins, one twin at a time. Terrell Ford and Tyson Philpott will see a little of each other today.
Alexander deep drop and hangs on to it, sliding down to make the grab. In front of Nick Anderson is one of those twins. There is Tyson Philpott.
A little bit of pressure. Edmonton knows they've got to try and bring it. Four men twist up the middle. Davis Alexander pulled down there by Tamari Fox. Looks no worse for wear.
Tell though the clock starting to go off in his head. He knew it was a half second too late, paid the price, but still delivered the football. Crosses the 55, and Alexander now play action, and we'll flip it out to Travis Tice in the flats. Big stiff arm. Tice asserting his dominance. He's been so good over the last month and a half, and sending a message early on here in a battle of physicality.
Yeah, and you're going to see Tice comes across, little fake handoff here, and then continues out to the flat. Quick shot there. Travis Tice doing as a receiver what we have seen him do as a runner, which is dish out a little bit of punishment. Good stiff arm there on Kenneth Logan Jr. as he fights for the first down yardage.
Tice now scored a touchdown in 6 consecutive games because of plays like that. They'll fake it one direction, flip it back the other. Cole Speaker on the receiving end is the Alouettes screen game as strong as ever. We saw that at home a couple of weeks ago against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, where it seemed like they had an endless number of screens available.
And certainly their receivers demonstrating some ability after the catch, a willingness to block for each other to make those screens successful. But the other thing that comes with the success of those screens, obviously, is the opportunity to take some shots down the field, which you know they love.
Screen, 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 and double move. That has been the MO at times for this Alouettes offense, but they're so versatile. So many different ways that they can beat you. With Davis Alexander at the controls, he'll play 2nd and 6 here from Edmonton's 35. In the opening drive of the ball game, fades this one to Cole Speaker. Dropped in beautifully.
We've become so conditioned to seeing teams out of the gate win the toss and defer, win the toss and defer, decide what's happening with the win. Montreal Alouettes win the toss, take the ball. Davis Alexander and this group, the momentum that they're able to generate right out of the gate, a big reason why.
Speaker at the bottom of your screen. Catches his breath from the last snap, but already back to work. They'll go end around and reverse Tyson's Philpott gives it back to Sneed, who looks down the field. The speaker throws it up, and Tyler Sneed is intercepted. Little tap on the chest from Jared Brinkman saying, nice throw on the way by. They take it out of the hands of Alexander. And Sneed has been so good, Dwayne, throwing the football, but that time it flips possession. The Edmonton Elks, Tyrell Ford goes and gets it.
Big play for the Edmonton Elks. Keep an eye on the corner at the bottom of the screen. Tyrell Ford is down there. As soon as he sees the ball come to Tyler Sneed, taking that ball on the handoff, that's the moment he knows initially, I'm not playing the run. I gotta back up. I gotta get in coverage. He recognizes this. We've seen this from Montreal before. Good recognition from Ford. His recovery speed allows him to get back there and make a play on the football.
Sun comes out to make it even hotter for the Edmonton Elks offensively as Justin Rankin goes to work. Tyrell Ford, team leading 4th interception of the season, gets it back for Fajardo and Rankin.
Yeah, and this is exactly the way the Edmonton Elks want to start the game, is with Justin Rankin chewing up yards. Managed to get him out on the edge here, where we know he can be so explosive.
Offensive coordinator Jordan McSimic goes tempo quickly here as Fajardo fakes the run, will use his own legs and heads towards the sticks after a gain of 17 from Rankin. It's Fajardo right there, and it looks like they will move the sticks as we see Cody Fajardo, the way that he has been attacking this 2026 CFL season.
Yeah, terrific numbers, obviously, for Cody, taking care of the football, but making big plays when he needs to. Now looking at Cody on the run, not a called quarterback run, but the kind of decision, him using his legs, that's the kind of thing that's going to help create space for Justin Rankin to succeed in the run game as well.
DJ Luther and Cephas go to the left, back to the right-hand side, is over the middle. It is incomplete. Keon Julian Grant, the former Alouette, had great success here in Edmonton's game in Montreal last year, as we see Edmonton starting offense around Cody Fajardo.
And on that offensive line, you have Carter O'Donnell, former 3rd-round pick originally of the Montreal Alouettes, traded for the 1st overall pick that became Terrell Richards in 2022. And of course, Austin Mack, the top 5 in the Canadian Football League in receiving, coming into this week, enjoying a little bit of a rebirth in green and gold.
Fajardo up the middle, thinks about running again, and twice early on. Cody will take off, brought down by Tyrell Richards, the former 1st overall pick. Go to the Syracuse Orange, just a gain of 6.
And Cody just not seeing anything he likes in this instance. Looking to make what he can out of the play as he's flush from the pocket.
Get the sense maybe the heart rate going a little higher for Fajardo in this ball game, right? The tempo is there, the brain is kind of firing on all cylinders. Devontae Dedmon stands back, ready to receive. He'll catch it at his own 10, tries to make the first man miss, and he does. Across the 15 and the 20, with a flag down, across the 40 goes Dedmon, and finally chopped down as Jake Julian and Tyrell Ford do the job. We will sort out the flags on the other side, but Devontae Dedmon, so much time being electric in Ottawa, he's made his way here to Montreal, and he's helping out Davis Alexander. 18-1 win-loss record as a starter. The best 19-game opening run in CFL history. Time now for our Fisher Investments Canada stat of the game for you, and it is Davis Alexander with the best all-time mark, coming in 18-1. Up against Jackie Parker. There's a couple of other obviously notable names that are in that fray, but the guy who's leading the Alouettes here at home has certainly set the standard for a start to a career. Somehow he doesn't have a crazy ego. That's what I don't understand, Dwayne.
Well, he's out there today trying to avenge that one, the blemish on his regular season record.
That big, ugly one loss against the Edmonton Elks earlier this year is now he just fades away and gets this one into the area of a blue uniform incomplete. Tyrell Ford sneaking in after having the interception on the last drive.
Yeah, making his presence felt. See Ford at the bottom of the screen. Corner, things are heavy to the other side of the field. Go make things a little difficult for the quarterback in different ways than he already has with one pick.
How about Pierre-Olivier Lestage popping over to go get the DB from the other side of the line? The vision on the big man. Montreal Caravan grad as Alexander looks to throw on 2nd and 10. Pressure coming, cuts back away from Malik Carney, and he'll get it away. Complete underneath. Travis Tice is the check down. Plenty of work to do to get to the sticks, and he won't get there. Cordell Jackson making plays across the defense, ranks tied for 3rd in the CFL with 52 total defensive plays, makes another right here.
Yeah, the Edmonton Elks front doing a pretty good job. No surprise to see Malik Carney in the backfield. That's why they went out and got him from the Saskatchewan Roughriders in free agency this offseason.
Settling for the check down underneath. Javon Leake, always dangerous himself. So many great returners in this league. Stands back, ready to return. Leake sets himself, picks up speed, and hits a wall. Like finally in on the play, Alexander Gagne. That's not breaking news for the Alouettes special teams unit, led by Byron Archambault as Cody Fajardo facing his former team. He's been so good against them throughout his career, 6-1 combined in his time before and after being here in La Belle Provence.
The CFL on TSN is brought to you in part by The Score Bet, an official gaming partner of the CFL.
Cody Fajardo 2 weeks ago passed for 510 yards, the 35th 500-plus yard game in CFL history since 1950, and the first since Ricky Ray had 506 yards all the way back in 2017. A tremendous effort from the Elks leader as he ripped it up and down the field. Goes back to work here in Montreal, his old stomping grounds. His first contact on Justin Rankin is Tyrese Beverette, but can't bring him down. Needs a couple of his friends, and they play for this Alouettes defense.
And Alouettes defense missing 4 regular starters, but hoping to get a little boost with David Perales returning to the lineup. In his previous start, he had a sack in that ball game. Micah Alway, the veteran, will see a little more time at linebacker with Jeffrey Arthur out of the lineup, and Fayon Hicks makes the start at the boundary half spot that has historically been occupied by Wesley Sutton.
Top 2 teams, each in their division. And a lot of shuffling on the depth chart, just moving pieces around going into this one as they seem to sense the pressure and the value of getting a victory against their opponent here today. As the previous play went for a gain of 13 yards, this one for 5.
The Elks, to no one's surprise, looking to establish their running back, Justin Rankin, in the early going here. He's had a couple of pretty good bursts to start this game off. Guy who's a big key to their success this season.
7-1 Montreal Alouettes, usually led by their defense. Offense has been spectacular this year, as now the D tries to make a play on 2nd down. They can't squeeze down the windows. And Dwayne, I don't know if it's the heat, the humidity, the competition level, the connection points between these teams, but this feels like a playoff game right now.
Yeah, it certainly does. You can feel the intensity in the lead up to this one as Brendan O'Leary Orange uses his size to make that grab in traffic. Yeah, I mean, these teams know division leaders, but so many connections. As you said, a lot of history between Edmonton and Montreal in terms of big games in the CFL.
Jardo to the outside, looking for Skylar Griffith, and he drops it. UBC big man can't hang on. You asked when we were chatting with these 2 teams to Jason Moss about, is this like a rivalry that's developed? And he went into this amazing historical reflection on it. He said, if it's about me and Danny Machocha, then the answer is no.
Yeah.
But if it's about these helmets, then yes.
Yeah, Jason Moss, a guy who played much of his career in Edmonton. Danny Machocha, a former head coach in Edmonton during that time. But yeah, Jason talked though a little bit about the number of Grey Cups in which these 2 teams have met in the past. And yeah, a guy who's certainly well schooled in the history of both franchises.
Jardo slipped a little bit at the end of his drop back, but does complete it. On Julian Grant, had a pair of touchdowns in 2025 here as he gets a gain of 8 on 2nd down and 10, and now a decision for the Elks. And Mark Kelm, he'll send out the special teams unit with Jake Julian, the punter.
Yeah, we've seen them a couple times opting to play the field position game here in the first quarter. Punting in that midfield range rather than going for it or attempting field goals. Trying to force Davis Alexander and the Owls offense to go the distance. Devontae Dedmon back there looking to do his best once again to keep the Elks from flipping the field with the punt.
Oh, and he got it! They did get through the line. The ball is loose, but a blocked punt for the Montreal Alouettes. It always seems like the special team shows up in the biggest of moments. A flag is up as well, but Jake Julian puts this one to his foot, and Kylan Goudry says no thanks.
Well, we'll take a look here. And Kylan Goudry lines up in the A-gap, and he's just going straight rush, and you're going to see the personal protector back here, number 49, Justin Pace, the rookie linebacker, is just a little late responding to seeing him come in there. May have anticipated the guard was going to block down to that. Not sure if there was some miscommunication, but he's late to react. Goudry has been part of that D-line rotation. Guy who's demonstrating a little bit of a knack for the big play here with Montreal. Comes free to get a piece of that one.
Montreal native, Queens Gales grad, Justin Pace in the middle of that. Descatelier, former University of Manitoba quarterback, going over it with Pace on the sideline as he's running the special teams you see there. And we're going to talk it through with kind of his up backs. Brock Mogensen alongside Pace and DK Bonhomme as well. So protection getting sorted out. We had that great reaction shot of Byron Archibald. He wears about 15 hats in the Alouettes organization. Nothing makes him happier than blocking something. Nothing. He could have the first overall pick and have a Hall of Famer and nothing would make him happier. As maybe this will make him happy. Tyler Sneed open down the field on a corner route. Davis Alexander completes the throw in front of Jalen Garnes. Couldn't get over from his free safety spot.
Well, the deep ball didn't work with Tyler Sneed throwing it, but it sure works with him on the catch. Fake to Travis Tice, gets that hold at the line of scrimmage. Gets people sneaking up given the success that Tice has had in recent weeks. Davis Alexander able to escape to the outside and deliver that strike to the CFL's second leading receiver.
As they fake the run, Alexander jumps to throw and gets tackled. Takes a little offense to it as well as he rolls over on the top of Tyrell Ford, who got the interception off of Tyler Sneed. But it is a completed pass underneath. This is dangerous days for the Edmonton Elks, Dwayne, because Tyler Sneed feels like he has something to earn back after that interception.
And you see Tyrell Ford. A couple of times we've seen him in the backfield in the early portion of this game, using his speed to get after Davis Alexander a little bit.
Alexander fired up, popping back onto his feet. Dangerous plays. He landed with some weight on his legs, but gets away with it there. And now he'll fade to the right after play action. Gets away from Carney, fades this one up into the air and out of bounds. Wisely keeps it away from the green and gold.
And this is a fantastic defensive play to me by Malik Carney to manage Davis Alexander in space. Guy with an option to run, to throw the football. You don't want to let it get to the outside. You're going to see Carney, one of the top edge rushers in the Canadian Football League, does a good job not overcommitting, keeping good leverage on the play, forcing Davis Alexander into the throwaway.
Reminds me of a world-class high school basketball defensive player. Closing out.
Yes.
Not over jumping, not making any mistakes. Get blown by as Alexander goes back to work. On 2nd and 10, he fades to his left. DA looks into the end zone, pumps, and now he's got some room. Alexander, touchdown Alouettes. They've never seen him lose here at home, and it's because of plays like that.
Well, he makes the right decision to run with this football rather than trying to throw it into a crowded corner of the end zone, but it's the execution on that decision. I know I want to run to the outside, but Kenneth Logan Jr. is there. How am I going to make a play on him to get outside? That throw fake freezes. Logan allows Alexander to get to the corner, and then he just drops his shoulder to cross the line.
Dad, a prolific rugby player, harnessing those roots a little bit with the low center of gravity, the power running game of Davis Alexander. He doesn't use it often, getting smarter about protecting himself and his body. But when called upon, especially near the goal line, you know he's going to use those legs as it begins with the punt block by Goodry. And the offense rolled from there.
Absolutely big play to Tyler Sneed. Get things started for the O. Another quick hitter. Davis Alexander makes a couple of plays basically just to protect the football along the way on this drive. Recognizes they're in scoring position, that a throwaway live to fight another down is okay. And in the end, I don't know, do we call that going Tommy Stevens?
It's already switched from Strevy to Stevens. How soon we forget.
You know, you get a couple Hatties in a row and we got something to talk about.
No doubt. The Alouettes, and we also talked with Jason Moss about this week, Wayne, of are you still coaching Davis Alexander, or is he kind of good at this point? He's like, every single drive, he comes to the sideline, and we are treating him as if he is brand new to the CFL.
Yeah, as he says, good or bad, we're giving him feedback on every single play. With that standard Jason Moss intensity.
A match made in football heaven right there between Davis Alexander and Jason Moss. It's Javon Leak ready back to return for the Edmonton Elks. And a flag flies. And it looks like a time count against the Owls. They took a few extra seconds celebrating the greatness of Davis Alexander, perhaps.
Delay a game. Montreal number 19. It's a 10-yard penalty. We're going to re-kick.
Always feels unfair that they get the kicker for that one, you know?
Single him out. Eh?
Jose Maltos Diaz wearing the 1-9 today in red, white, and blue. And backs it up a couple of yards here. Now he'll launch it away from the 20-yard line. Leak returns it across the 35. Good job by the blocking scheme. Donovan Manuel in there for the special teams tackle. Is we see Justin Rankin, and we get a peek at his work from last week. It's been an interesting evolution since he absolutely blew the doors off the league to get 2026 going.
Well, and we've talked about this a little bit, Marsh. I mean, the fact is, opposing defenses have known, not just from the start of this year, but even going back to last year, that what their MO is going to be to try and stop Justin Rankin, try and shut him down, contain him, however you want to term it, and force Cody Fajardo to beat you with his arm. Cody just keeps making plays.
As he looks to throw here down the field, Kalen Julian Grant ball hung up a little bit and knocked away. Tremendous coverage supplied by Robert Kennedy III. But you're right, Wayne, when they have taken away Justin Rankin, Cody Fajardo has answered the bell and really stepped up his game.
Yeah, so I mean, part of the impact of Justin Rankin, it doesn't always show up on the stats sheet under his name, but the fact is Justin Rankin is creating opportunities for other players to make plays. If teams are going to be so focused, so committed on shutting him down in the run game, there are going to be other opportunities. They've got to make the most. Edmonton make the most of those opportunities.
Fajardo looks to throw once again. This one complete. And that's Austin Mack on the receiving end. Kalen Julian Grant said it feels so normal to play with Mack and Cody Fajardo. He says they left some food on the table in 2024 here in Montreal. As we set the table after one more play for the second quarter, but a smooth completion despite getting hit as he was releasing it here by Fajardo. As Isaac Adeyemi-Bergen got a good shot in.
Cody standing in, he and Austin Mack certainly on the same page. There's a chat with Mack about a little of their chemistry and history this week.
With a toss play, Javon Leak in for Justin Rankin. It spins off contact. Michael Alway finishes the play, but it took three Alouettes defenders to do the deed. A four-play, 53-yard drive after a blocked punt is the difference here early on between the top teams in the CFL's East and West. Who's that guy? Was Jesse Palmer playing back a throw that he might have made? We'll find out if he completed it. He's in the booth with us when we kick off the second quarter next. Looking forward to having Jesse Palmer with us coming up in just a moment. But for now, it's the numbers after 1 quarter of play and 92 passing yards for Davis Alexander as he continues his hot streak here at home. He loves playing in front of these fans, and it's a match made, as I said, in heaven with Jason Moss and Anthony Calvillo as well, right? Finding a way to get into the rhythm offensively with those two guys is pretty special.
Well, so much of the mentality, obviously, in the Canadian game that is built around quarterback play is the people that you have to help put your quarterback in a position to be successful. And Jason Moss and Anthony Calvillo is a rather dynamic duo to be working with Davis Alexander.
It's an interesting dynamic between them as well, because Jason Moss obviously used to have the play calling responsibilities, giving that to AC. And you actually asked this week about Anthony Calvillo and the connection with Jason Moss and their time spent previously. And we found out from Moss that he actually threw with AC way back in the day. As Cody Fajardo takes to the friendly Montreal skies that he knows so well, completes to Keon Julian Grant. And that will move the sticks to open up our second quarter of action.
You see Keon Julian Grant coming out of that break. Perfect timing between he and Cody Fajardo. Again, history for those two going back to their time in Montreal.
Montreal 39, Fajardo heading the same direction that Alexander ran in a touchdown earlier. Goes to the slant on the backside. Keon Julian Grant cuts back and a big block down the field. Skylar Griffin finding bodies. I think that was Burns that ended up wearing the worst of 44 down the field, but a nice completion here on the backside slant.
Yeah, Skylar Griffin, drafted a year ago, a deep leader there for the fullback out of UBC to help spring Julian Grant for the first down.
That's the second one this week. we had was it Elijah Hills from the Calgary Stampeders on Thursday night on special teams, just detonated on a big block. Now Skylar Griffith's getting into it. These guys are hitting in week 10 as Javon Leak with the inside handoff. And on 1st and 10, he will pick up what looks like 7 yards.
And again, Edmonton, as they evolve, teams trying to shut down Justin Rankin. You look for ways to remain productive, not just with Rankin, but in the run game as a whole. Javon Leak, a big part of that, adding a little bit different dimension. But as well as that, helping to keep Rankin fresh, spelling him for some of those series in that offensive backfield.
Jordan McSimic, the offensive coordinator, told us a couple weeks ago that Nathan Rourke and Vernon Adams Jr. were gunslingers right from the set. Cody needs to work his way into the game a little bit. And he likes that from a play caller's perspective as a flag flies late after the tackle is made. As our referee threw it, it is Justin McInnes here this afternoon in Montreal.
As you said, this one came up. Seemed well after the tackle was made.
McInnes communicates with our replay official, Dave Foxcroft, and has the call.
Face mask, Montreal, number 97. The ball's going to be placed at the 1 yard line and an automatic first down.
The Alouettes backpedaling here, Dwayne, deep into their own end.
Yeah, watch for 97. Josh Archibald, a little bit of a wrestling match there. Kind of looks to me like the face masks went both ways as he finds himself in a battle with Mark Cordy.
Almost had an AJ Gas situation there on Labor Day. As now the short yardage unit plunges forward. Fabian Ento on the backside of the play. Tyrese Beverett doing everything he can to keep Fajardo out of the end zone as they decide to keep the starter in and power their way forward.
Some surge in the middle of the line. They get into Cody's legs.
Well said, Dwayne.
Yeah. I'm known for my eloquence.
The sound everybody at home is making.
He reached that ball. To me, it looked like it broke the front plane, but
The replay center is looking to see if the previous play was a touchdown.
see, they were saying, back in the replay center as well.
And everyone around the country and around the globe as well, sitting on their couch watching the game, maybe at the cottage, making the same sound as we get another look at it.
You'll see Fajardo's legs taken out a little bit, but it just looked to me on the reach before you could rule him down by contact. It looks like this ball is crossing that front plane, the field side plane of the line of scrimmage. Well, no, with more emphasis.
Sorry. It did look good on the second effort from Fajardo. He's used to running that.
After automatic review by the replay center, it is determined that the previous play was a touchdown.
And the Elks get on the board. Donut no more. CF7 into the end zone for 6.
No surprise to see the Elks answer the bell. Previous meeting this season between these two teams needed overtime to be decided.
It's a Blanchard, knocks it through. And the former Laval Rouge et Or kicker from Quebec City here in Montreal with the Elks tags on the extra point after Fajardo wins the battle, gets into the end zone. Jesse Palmer joins us next. Well, we go back in the memory bank here in Canadian football as we see a young Jesse Palmer slinging it around. Was that Minto? Sportsplex? Yeah, was that Minto in Ottawa? I was going to say, to the Florida Gators with the old ball coach. Of course, the New York Giants. Little heavy play. Was that the play you were reenacting before the game that we caught? Was it a little heavy play action, Jesse?
It was. As you can tell, I really worked up a big sweat down on the field. I don't know if you guys have talked about this yet, but it is very hot and muggy here today down on the field. I got my workout in.
Well, you're the only one of us dressed appropriately for the weather.
I don't know how you guys are in suits right now.
It's all
ridiculous.
Good. Yeah, we brought the heat and the humidity here as we have a great matchup, of course, on the field for us. But it's been fantastic to have you in the booth. And looking forward to hanging out and talking some football here, something you know all too well. And, of course, family history with the Canadian Football League as well that we'll get into is a big return here by the Alouettes. Across the 40 out to the 45. Devontae Devon sidestep and nearly reaches the 55. As the Alouettes get a little energy here at Percival Molson Stadium, and there's a certain familial reason why you might be here with us in the booth today as we look back at some vintage footage.
Is this a dollar bill Palmer? my dad, who in the 70s played in the CFL, he was the dreaded linebacker punter combination and still has the best mustache of any Palmer in our family right now. He wore it in every team. He played for almost every team in the CFL, by the way.
Well, genetics would say that, yeah, and Dad's right behind there. He decided to get rid of the stash for us here today, but Tyson Philpott makes the grab and knifes on a screen. Brought down by Nick Anderson back in the lineup for Edmonton, but you decided the mustache wasn't really a quarterback thing, or how'd that go?
No, I just it's a genetic thing, unfortunately for me. It's like a testosterone manly thing. I don't have the ability to grow it that well. That's why I ended up playing quarterback and not linebacker, obviously, as you see. My brothers and I, with Dad, they're all here as well at the game. Billy on the far left played at Notre Dame, was at
tight end, right?
And was drafted by the BC Lions, actually. And Christian is a proud IU alum, of course, in college football right now. They're riding high after a national championship as well. So everybody's here. Everybody's getting to enjoy this. It's been a lot of fun to be together.
Awesome. Little Montreal road trip for the Palmer boys.
Tough sell.
Yeah.
Really tough sell coming to Montreal for a Palmer men vacation, no question.
Very good. I want to talk to you a little bit about your football roots in Ottawa. Was that Myers Riders? Is that where you got your start?
Horsemen, and then it was the Myers Riders and the
As down on the field for the Edmonton Elks, and in a little bit of pain, that's Kenneth Logan Jr., who had a tremendous rookie year last season.
Yeah, a key part for this Edmonton defense as he plays that strong side or nickel linebacker spot. Tough guy to replace.
So Jesse, you guys make the trip here and you're enjoying the ball game and all the rest, but talk to me about your experience being in and around the CFL through the years, because you do so much work and great work in the NCAA, obviously, and doing NFL things for us on SportsCenter on TSN, but you must love being here in person.
Thanks so much, man. I mean, CFL was the league and the game that I fell in love with. That's how I fell in love with football. My dad used to take me to Ottawa Rough Rider games back in the day when J.C. Watts was the quarterback and Orville Lee was the running back. Hardcore CFL aficionados will remember those names. But, you know, it's funny. You get nostalgic. I do, watching a team like Edmonton here today. I remember Gizmo Williams, and I remember Damon Allen and Tracy Ham, Matt Dunnigan, all those great teams they had. And obviously I was lucky for a couple months to play for the Montreal Alouettes myself. And it's such a great fan base here. Just being here today really reminds me of that and how unique and special this league is. And so it's really, really cool and unique to be back.
Yeah, and I know you would have shared time in the quarterback room with Anthony Calvillo in your time with the Alouettes. Any memories from your stint there of AC? What stood out to you?
Short yardage plunges their way forward and picks up the first down. J.C. Sherritt will reset his defense. And a tight ball game here with the two top teams, each of their divisions in the Canadian Football League. You picked a good one, Jesse, to drop in, having Edmonton resurgent after struggling for the last couple of years on the road here against Montreal that packs this place as well as anybody in the Canadian Football League. As Davis Alexander goes to work inside 10 minutes remaining in our first half of Week 10. Inside handoff, Travis Tice cuts it back in a solid game for the battering ram of the Alouettes rushing attack.
So in recent years, obviously you're still doing a lot of work with the National Football League, but it seems like we've seen maybe some of the trends from the Canadian game starting to show up.
I think it's been showing up for a while now. I think that to the collegiate game, and then I think the next progression in that was the NFL. I just think formationally, schematically, from a tempo standpoint, how offenses are deciding to attack, and conversely, how defenses are trying to slow down these high-octane spread offenses as well. You know, the CFL is an interesting league in that sense that it really is innovative in a lot of ways, and you see a lot of the trends. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of the trends start up here and then trickle down to the U.S. high school, collegiately, and professionally.
Well, I found it so interesting when June Jones was the head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats that he was talking about, well, I was up here, I picked up stuff, I took it down, I did this, I went to Hawaii, I can't. But everything is really just one big spider web, right, in the football world.
It all translates. Even though the field is bigger and you have an extra guy, and there's unlimited motion and all those different types of things, at the end of the day, it's still football, and you're right. It's something that does translate.
Hard count here from Alexander, getting a bit of a look from the Edmonton defense as former top pick Joel DeBlanco will reset. Alexander thought about taking a home run shot, then decides to go underneath. Travis Tice, stiff arm for the second time in the ballgame, down the left sideline and inside the 5 for number 5. It's Travis Tice getting closer to extending his touchdown streak.
There just seems to be this boost in intensity every time Travis Tice touches the football. One of the guys who sets the tone in terms of physicality for the Montreal offense, despite having the ball in his hands. This is the second time we've seen he just shrugs off the first man. This time it's Cordell Jackson who's shifted to the nickel linebacker spot from halfback in place of Kenneth Logan Jr.
Tamari Fox is down for the Edmonton Elks. We will step away. Jesse, thank you so much for coming out to hang out with us.
Always
enjoy
amazing.
your time with Dad.
I appreciate it. I'm going to go find some air conditioning.
Thank you. Great to have you. We'll be back after this. Get ready for a new season of breathtaking spectacle. I'm not talking about The Bachelor. Shocking betrayal and explosive drama. HBO's House of the Dragon. Stream now. Only on Crave.
You've been bragging all day that you were going to get the final rose.
Yeah. Neither of us got it. Not surprising. Great to have Jesse in the booth as Brock Mogensen checks into the ball game here, and he'll hand it off inside. Travis Tice stopped short as the defense answers in short order despite losing a defensive lineman on that last snap with Fox.
Yeah, certainly some depth built into that Edmonton roster over the course of the last couple seasons under general manager Ed Hervey.
It's Montreal offense. A change in personality from recent years for the Owls. Finding creative ways to get into the end zone. Marco Dubois in motion. Now he'll protect. And Davis Alexander all the time in the world looks to the back of the end zone. Tyson Philpott. TD Tyson back at it again.
to shut him down, try to contain him, but Tyson Philpott and Davis Alexander, they're going to make their plays over the course of the game. How about this protection? All the time in the world for Davis Alexander. Tyson Philpott eventually pops free.
Now ties him for the team lead with touchdowns. That's 5 for Tyson. Alongside his running mate, Tyler Snead, they have a competition for yards after the catch going this season, just like Tyson used to have with Keon Julian Grant, who of course is now in an Edmonton uniform today, as Altos Diaz knocks the extra point through. And a touchdown for Tyson, his first since July 11th. Gone 3 games without a major, but no more as Davis Alexander locks in and finds number 6 for 6.
Look at the latest Davis Alexander to Tyson Philpott connection. This one for a major to put Montreal back in the lead.
Came all the way across the field from the right side in behind the uprights, waving that hand the whole way. And knew he was free for the major. Edmonton will receive. Von Leek takes it inside his own 20, and big special teams hit. The Alouettes all over it. And Leek up onto his feet as Austin Mack back onto the turf here. Percival Molson fired up to be involved in this one with more. Let's head down for the first time to Kenzie Lalonde.
Yeah, let's track back to the 2023 Eastern Conference semifinal right here at Percival Molson Stadium against the Tiger Cats. And Austin Mack saying this week that remains one of his favorite memories here at the stadium because he almost didn't even make it on the field. Took a heavy hit from Stavros Katsantonis, went to the locker room to get checked out, and Greg Ellingson ran to the locker room and said, man, there's a turnover. Are you good to go back on the field? Grabbed his helmet, got on the field, touchdown, the rest is history. Said it prompted a lot of reflection this week being back in Montreal, but the one thing he wanted to do, get a sandwich at done.
Yeah, he was fired up for that on our call. Thank you, Kenzie. As Justin Rankin goes to work on the outside and dances away from a host of Alouettes tacklers. Finally, they bring him down. But Justin Rankin looks just like he did earlier this season at Commonwealth in a home game for Edmonton against these Alouettes where he absolutely dominated.
Yeah, Justin Rankin certainly feeling it. They've done a nice job mixing in bits of Javon Leek in their run game. Justin Rankin with fresh legs, scary thought.
Gain of 20 yards that time as Austin Mack goes to the bottom of your screen. They're going to get involved more and more in this offense. A couple explosive plays 2 weeks ago. Massive numbers against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Is now a short one to the outside. And easy money for Mack working against Lorenzo Burns.
Yeah, Austin Mack already this season approaching his totals from 2025 in Montreal. Equaled his numbers with 2 100-plus yard games already, exceeded his game high from last season a couple times already, so no question he's feeling at home as an Edmonton Elk.
For a gain of 8, Fajardo plays 2nd and 2, playbook wide open here on Montreal's half of the field. I'll go with the safe inside handoff. Rankin keeps the legs moving and not going anywhere. Now a flag flies as well. And for 2nd and 2, that went about as poorly as it could have for the Double E.
Yeah, great burst off the line of scrimmage. I think it was Isaac Adeyemi Berglund initially. Kind of threw chaos into this one. Adeyemi Berglund with a great drive up the middle. He got a hold of Rankin, pulled him back.
Edmonton, number 68. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Gillum watching on the Edmonton Elks. Head coach, part of the resurgence, alongside Ed Hervey, who might have given the interview of the century before their big game last week against Saskatchewan. Painting a clear message for what Edmonton football, in his vision, should and would look like.
My favorite interview of the season, quite honestly.
Loved hearing the follow-up as well. And In a conversation with Dustin Nielsen this week, our own CFL and TSN play-by-play man. As out of bounds goes Devontae Dedman. Little shove at the end of the plate. And we'll see whether or not there's any shoves or banging of wheels as the Stars of IndyCar take on Markham Streets, the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy. Catch all the action Sunday, August 16 at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on TSN, CTV, and Crave. I will be there. And I'm riding a Honda Africa Twin to get there.
I was going to ask you if you were driving in that. I
ain't missing that.
Motorsports.
Oh, kidding me? IndyCar? Do anything to go hang out with some wheels. I'm actually heading back to the Canadian Superbike Championship after this game is done at Old Bonesport this weekend. You can catch those broadcasts on TSN as well, the Bridgestone CSBK. Little two-wheel action on your televisions right here on TSN. Ahead of the Honda Indy in Markham is inside handoff. For a gain of a couple. 4.5 minutes remaining. A tight one, and I'm having a flashback here, Dwayne, as we're seeing these uniforms and these helmets going against each other. I'm like, is this like the East semifinal from 2018? You know, kind of bang it out, scratch and claw, and get a couple of yards here and there. Wait for the big play, maybe a turnover.
Yeah, so many games, big games to go back to between these two teams over the years. I often think back, 2002, 2003, 2005, where they meet in the Grey Cup 3 out of 4 years.
Davis Alexander backpedals into his own end zone. Now has to get away from Malik Carney, throws it across his body, intercepted. And Davis Alexander has it taken away, something he hadn't had happen at a historic rate. 300 plus attempts without a pick, and now throws one at home, and Tyrell Ford has his second of the ball game, extending his Edmonton team lead, and the Elks are set up here at the end of the first half inside the 10-yard line.
They're throwing it to the wrong twin. Davis Alexander on the move, looking to make a big play here, and even during that interception-free streak, he didn't do it by being shy, no question about that, but this one ill-advised, and Tyrell Ford, one of the great ball hawks in the Canadian Football League. Career-high 7 interceptions with Winnipeg in 2024.
He's beaten that this year.
He's on his way.
Dropped one in week 1 on the road at the Ottawa Red Blacks. Could have been even higher at this point. Fajardo trying to take advantage. They'll fake it inside to Rankin. And CF7 throws a corner route. And did he get his foot down at the back of the end zone? Touchdown, Edmonton. TJ Luther.
TJ Luther lines up in the slot here. Inside receiver of the two, Julian Grant on the outside. Step to the inside, little bit of confusion with the receivers crossing paths. Just freezes the safety, Nate Bushman, on the inside. And we'll see if he hangs on to this football as he lands. And just trying to see as well, does the upper body with the ball touch that white stripe before he lands with his legs and feet in bounds? Hit the sideline, he's out.
I'll do it was tight. With the cutoff end zones here at Percival Molson Stadium playing their role, unfortunately, looks like it might take a TJ Luther interception off the board, but Tyrell Ford continues his hot streak. Jason Moss waits for the call. Is the review underway? Great chat with Nate Boschman this week, who was in coverage on that play as well on TJ Luther. As the replay official Dave Foxcroft has made the decision. Justin McInnes has the call.
After review by the replay center, the previous play has been overturned to an incomplete pass. It's going to be second down.
Maybe a little bit of a juggle here heading out of bounds.
Yeah, you'll see on the landing, we talk about surviving contact. And you could see on one of the angles, just kind of see the ball trapped underneath the bottom of the ball, coming into contact with the field. He didn't have his arm underneath it. That ultimately the cause of the ruling.
Fajardo gets another shot at the end zone. And he rips it just beyond the outstretched arms of Keon Julian Grant. Robert Kennedy in coverage. He made that window almost impossibly small, but somehow Fajardo still almost fit it in.
He's going to step the inside this time. And maybe a little bit of a grab by the defender Kennedy on that one as he tried to separate.
This is the 3-minute warning.
We have hit the 3-minute warning. 3rd and goal upcoming. The offense on the field is Fajardo trying to make an impact here in his old stomping grounds. Just barely missed the touchdown on 2nd down.
Oh, we have a great halftime coming up. Tyrell Ford, early candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. He's been fantastic in this one. Talk a little Rankin and why they should use him more. And guess what? Finally coming back, it is straight fire!
3rd and 5 for the Edmonton Elks. See if they can have a little straight fire here, get into the end zone and tie things up at the end of the first half. Fajardo over the middle, wide open, taking a seat and taking the score. That's Joshua Cephas.
Well, quick hitter to the middle after attacking the flat, the out on to the left side. The first couple of shots here. Cody Fajardo looking for a more direct throw. Using the middle of the end zone for the strike, putting his team in a position to pull even here as the extra point attempt from Vincent Blanchard awaits.
The horns are out here in Montreal as Blanchard knocks this one through. What a battle. I know it was chopped up by the 3-minute warning and all the rest, but just take that, set it down by itself. Ignore the rest of the drive as a flag flies after the extra point. 1st down, taking the points off the board. 2nd down, Fajardo just barely misses, and 3rd down, they still find a way.
Yeah, and this is kind of Cody's MO. He has been rather clutch in recent years in his career. Pressure situation, finding ways to make plays.
Jordan McSimic there with Jabari Arthur. Jabs, the running backs coach. And Noel Thorpe a little frustrated.
Unnecessary roughness, Edmonton, number 64. That 15 yards will be applied on the kickoff. The convert is good.
15-yard penalty against Carter O'Donnell. We saw Jordan McSimic fired up on that one. I love the conversation we had about a month or so ago with him where he said sometimes you just got to sit on plays for the right time. I got a feeling that Cephas route might have been one of those that he said, yes, listen, guys, we're not running this until we're on the 5-yard line on the right hash. Going into this end zone, this direction with these weather conditions, and then dial it up, and it delivers.
Cephas gradually taking on a bigger role in this Edmonton offense. Comes into the game with 18 catches. That his first touchdown of his rookie CFL season.
Ferdinand back to help out in the return game here. 4 games played in 2025 for Ferdinand. Had 0 targets, 0 catches against Edmonton this year on the road against this club. Ferdinand had 5 targets, 4 catches for 55 yards. And while it might not be necessarily a breakout game, it certainly was more productive than he has had in recent times as a deep kick here after the penalty yardage drove Edmonton backwards. And Devontae Dedmon, with the help of that yardage, will make his way beyond the 45-yard line as we see Tyson Philpott back on the field, setting up the personnel package. Tyler Sneed working so well with him this year, and already over 1,000 yards. I had to pinch myself every time that we were talking about that the last couple of weeks. He's already there, really?
Yeah, kind of crazy. Terrific start, but listen, Tyson Philpott is a guy who, for a number of years, when you look at the yards per game amongst CFL receivers, is a guy who has been near the top of the list. And as he talked to us about this week, he's aware of that as well and has made it his goal to make sure he's healthy. do everything in his power to stay healthy, stay available for all 18, and you're seeing the effects.
Breaking free as Travis Tice makes a move, and for the third time in this ball game will throw out that strong right hand, shrug off the defender. As trying to make the tackle was Leonard Johnson downhill, but Tice with a big pop of 22 yards.
And, you know, a lot of CFL fans will remember Josh Ronick out of South Dakota State, known as the little ball of hate.
Good pull.
You know, I think of Travis Tice as the slightly bigger ball of hate. As he's tossing defenders out of the way here.
Like World's Strongest Man when they do the galaxy rocks. You got to raise up onto the platforms. Alexander goes away from the run, and Philpott gets a touch once again. That'll help with the yards after the catch competition. They haven't decided, by the way, Tyler Snead, Tyson Philpott, what the actual stakes are, but they did say that it is total yards after the catch, not per reception, which feels unfair because Tyson gets a lot of screens.
Yes, Tyson was not arguing with the terms. Had no issue. I think Tyler Snead needs a better agent in this one, to be fair.
Just wondering what the stakes are going to be. I feel like maybe like a eating competition at Dunn's, or maybe Dwayne Ford gets in the mix. They both lose. Davis Alexander, the heavy set in, hands it off. And short yardage, Travis Tice gets a few yards and a few more down inside the 10 before Malik Carney tracks him down from behind.
They have thought Travis Tice was going to be down close to the line of scrimmage here as he goes into contact. Dips his shoulders, low center of gravity. Pops out the other side for another Alouette first down. This is the guy in his second Canadian Football League season who's just been a blast to watch.
46 yards alone on this drive. 55 overall for Travis Tice. Will they go back to him here from inside the 10? Alexander looks to throw to the outside. Philpott has one, and now he's got two. Touchdown Owls!
Max protection look here from Montreal. Tight end, then keep the back in. Tyson Philpott very aware where that pylon is. Terrell Ford just trying to hold him up.
I thought it was great when you asked Tyrell this week, Wayne, is there a rivalry between the Philpotts and the Fords? And Tyrell said, I mean, Trey doesn't really have to deal with them. He's like, I have to deal with them.
Got to play against all of them.
A little slow to kick the extra point here. It looks like they're taking a quick peek on a scoring play, whether or not his arm was down before the right hand extended the football out and clipped the pylon. For now, 4 plays, 63 yards, and just a $1.06.
Tyrell Ford comes flying over, wraps him up, but Tyson Philpott with the reach. Touches that pylon and is in for the major.
Sometimes you just watch a replay like that, and you go, the athleticism is freaky to stay up. The natural human inclination in your backyard is to just put your hand down. But Tyson Philpott, superhuman as he's been this season and much of his CFL career, but on a new level as he punctuates this drive.
And Travis Tice doing Travis Tice things to set it up. Tyson Philpott demonstrated his versatility in the pass game, so many different ways the Alouettes are able to use him. Just a quick hitter there, so fast out of the break.
Philpott able to stay healthy as Alexander and Jason Moss go back to work, talking things over, and the pace of Tyson Philpott has been incredible this year. Almost doesn't seem real when you look through the years. The yardage, 459, 552, 769, 804. Already at 1,000.
Yeah, and boosting his numbers in terms of catches and yardage every year. So getting better as he goes. But there you see the number of games started. And obviously 2022, not a starter, but got his share of play time, was the East Division Rookie of the Year that year. But yet to play all 18 games, and that's what he's striving for, and the numbers could be frightening.
Worked with Anthony Calvillo's old trainer as well to fortify his body for a full 18-plus playoffs. As Von Leek stepping out of bounds, deciding that Joshua Archibald making contact was not a good idea. As halftime coming up, it's Kate, Enoch, and Milt holding it down for you here on the CFL on TSN. As always, the great trio. Apparently they're going to talk a little street fighter. That's the rumor. That's the rumor on the streets of Montreal.
You know, I mean, the good thing is, I don't think the boxing gloves are coming out between Enoch and Milt again. Those two have been at each other a little bit in recent days, I know, in their debate.
What happened to Dog of the Week? Is that slant, complete, big stick. Is that Goodry again? It is. Already has the block punt and lays a stick on Austin Mack, but the former Alouette hangs on for a first down.
Goodry, who we've seen playing up on the defensive line, getting some snaps in here as a linebacker as well.
And they bail out Goodry and blitz from the secondary, and Fajardo throws directly into it. Across the 55 goes Austin Mack. Back-to-back catches. The offense starting to move seamlessly here. Minute 27 remaining. The tempo has come to life as well for the green and gold.
Well, Justin Rankin is split out wide here.
Fajardo looks over the middle, and that one is complete. Brendan O'Leary-Orange hanging on. Played a key role in the games against the Saskatchewan Roughriders the last couple of weeks. The big body receiver, free agency addition from Hamilton, previously Winnipeg.
Yeah, Brendan O'Leary-Orange is one of those kind of under-the-radar free agent signings. Didn't get a lot of hype, didn't get a lot of talk, but a guy who Ed Hervey had in Hamilton recognized what he brought to the table, wanted to bring him west. He certainly made contributions.
Yeah, very nearly picked that one off. You're right, Ed Hervey had circled guys he wanted to bring in. We heard that in the pregame interview at home last week. Boschman close to getting there as Isaac Adeyemi Berglund all over it.
Adeyemi Berglund takes on the tackle. That opens up that inside gap for Boschman to come through on the blitz. Guys combining to impact the flight of that ball.
And they bail out and will blitz from the secondary as Fajardo now runs into it. He threw into it last time, and on 2nd and 10, using his legs, Cody goes and gets the first down.
Keep an eye here on left guard Carter O'Donnell as the blitz is coming from Nate Boschman. Poor Nate was a little out of his weight class on that one.
Tough matchup. O'Donnell this time protects against the D-line. Wide open is TJ Luther. Dropped it into the end zone. And dropped it into the hands of Luther. Incomplete. As Edmonton was that close to tying it up. I'll get another shot here on 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you're going to see Luther coming out of the slot, number 2 receiver, going right down the hash. Halfback tries to get hands on him and can't. And great job by Luther to track this one, to close on that football. It looked like it might be an overthrow, but he reels it in, but just could not complete the catch.
Sun cracks through the clouds here in Montreal as back to the slant they go on 2nd and 10. Austin Mack, the primary protagonist on this drive for Cody Fajardo, in a place they used to have so much fun and success together. 3rd and short coming up.
Yeah, you can just feel the energy as we talk to Austin Mack this week. His excitement of being healthy, kind of being in a little bit of a flow here in this Edmonton offense, and definitely excited to make his return to Montreal this week.
Deep in Montreal territory. It looks like The Elks are going to play the long-term game. Play it safe on this one. 3rd and a full yard. But 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Trailing by 7. Mark Killam, interesting call right here that tucked that one away into the back pocket. Depending on what the score looks like, headed inside the final 3 minutes of the 4th quarter. Here to wind down the second through the uprights. It's good for Edmonton. It's a 4-point football game, but Cody Fajardo, and he certainly would want to go, and I don't blame him. That's one of those playing the percentages that it feels like Fajardo said, guys, we always go here. Let's not change who we are.
Yeah, I think the combination not just of the third down situation, but probably the time on the clock, wanting to make sure, like, yeah, we may get the first down, but we may not get points. And Mark Killam's looking, we need to get points here, and we know we're going to start the third quarter with the football, a chance to kind of go back-to-back, double up on those points with back-to-back offensive possessions. I think Mark Killam just wanted to make sure they got something there.
Well, the safe play pays off for Edmonton, but an interesting discussion point for our halftime panel. Kate, Enoch, and Milt. It's a gain of 3 here for Davis Alexander.
Edmonton's been playing from behind this entire game. And again, just complete that thought. Couple offensive possessions in a row, essentially.
Alexander rips this one into a tight window, and it's Tyler Sneed bouncing away, running free inside the 30 to the 20, and pushed into bounds inside the 10 with 3 seconds remaining.
And a massive response for the Montreal Alouettes. And so much for Edmonton trying to go back-to-back on the scoreboard as Tyler Sneed and Davis Alexander hook up for a big one, setting the Alouettes up here.
We'll never know if it was the exact same play, but you were calling the game week 1 in Hamilton.
Yeah.
When it was a similar from the right side, slot back Tyler Sneed in breaking route. And I remember Luke Wilson and you losing your minds because Davis Alexander fired a missile in between the linebackers.
Yes.
Very similar throw there. One of those that he's incredibly comfortable with. And paying off for the Alouettes, which we seem to always say whenever Davis Alexander is throwing into tight coverage. Tyson Philpott, a couple of touchdowns in this ball game. Head bobbing, he's into it, feeling it here at home. Loves playing in the heat, loves playing with Davis Alexander. And it shows his historic pace continues.
Yeah, Tyson Philpott absolutely on fire. Over 1,000 yards on the season. Well, the one thing he hadn't done the last couple of weeks is score touchdowns. So we'll take care of that business. A couple of those in the first half. Terrific start for him. You try to contain him, but you will not shut him down. The dynamic duo of Davis Alexander to Tyson Philpott now joins our Kenzie Lalonde on the sideline.
Thank you, Dwayne. Tyson, let's start with this heat. I mean, 28 degrees, 37 with the Humidex. How are you managing it?
Yeah, it's a hot one, but, we're battle tested. We never let the environment, dictate us. We just come out here and play fast.
For 1,000 yards already, 2 touchdowns in this game against the league's best defense. How are you finding room out there?
Yeah, shout out to QB, shout out the rest of my guys. But like I said before, I can't do it without them. I know a lot of hype comes to me, but shout out Tyler Sneed, man, Devontae Dedmon, Davis Alexander, Travis Tice. Like, we got a whole group full of ballers, and they deserve the credit.
Best of luck.
Hey, merci beaucoup.
I hope you're enjoying that air conditioning, Kate. Over to you.
Thank you, Kenzie. Yes, it's absolutely fantastic in the studio right now. No one's sweating. It's a cool 18 degrees Celsius. Back alongside Enoch Mwamba and Milt Stiegel. And look, Milt, you had how many topics going at one point in this first half? Look, great game, by the way.
Yes,
I think
excellent.
we all expected this level of football. But before we get into the players and who we've loved, like Tice is having a phenomenal game, Tyrell Ford as well, we got to talk about the 3rd and 1. I feel like we've talked about 3rd and 1 so much this week, by the way. But that play call, a little confusing when they went for it on 3rd and 5.
Yes.
And we're just with the way Montreal's rolling right now, I think you have to attempt the touchdown, do you not?
Did you hear what Tyson Philpott said, all the ballers they have? This offense is in a zone. And to beat them, when you get look at your quarterback. you go for it. You give your team a chance to win. And I know Mark Killen has done a great job as a head coach, but that right there, that may come back to haunt you because you see what happens on the next play, the ensuing drive for the Montreal Alouettes.
You know, absolutely. And they've done this before. They went for it on 3rd and 5 or so, and they converted. And so Cody Fajardo's frustration, I completely feel it. They're on the right.
You got to believe.
At the end of it, too, they traded 3 points for one another at the end of it.
And as we said in the Calgary-Toronto game, 99.9% of the time you're going to get it. All right, let's go over now to one Travis Tice. And I know you wanted to talk about Tyrell Ford, and we obviously teased that at the 3-minute warning. But when you look at the game that Travis Tice is having once again, this is what he's been doing each and every week. He is unstoppable, and some of those stiff arms as well. Oh.
Yes. His offensive coordinator, Anthony Cavillo, had the privilege of playing with the greatest running back in CFL history, Mike Pringle. And Mike Pringle, his running style was he wanted to put some pressure on you and make you feel him. And that's exactly what Tice is doing right now. So I'm sure Anthony Cavillo is smiling, seeing what his star running back is doing. And coming into this game, Travis Tice, he was struggling a little bit catching the ball. Well, not struggling, but didn't have many receiving yards. Well, that's all changing in this game. Right now, he's showing you he's not only a great running back, running the ball, but he can also catch the ball out of the backfield and make some plays. So right now with this offense, with the zone they're in, we've been able to run the ball with Tyson Philpott, with Speaker, with Sneed. I don't know what you do. And that's why I'm still disappointed that Mark Killen did not go for it on 3rd and 1 and give his offense a chance to score a touchdown. Because defensively right now, I don't know how Edmonton stops the Montreal Alouettes. So offensively, they're going to have to score some points.
You know, and one of the things, too, we talked about was getting Justin Rankin going when it comes to this Elks team. I mean, you look at the stats. The first 5 games, he averaged 102 rushing yards and 54 receiving yards. Last 3, 25 rushing yards and 40 receiving yards. At the beginning of this game, they gave him the ball. And guess what? He was doing that old school stuff that he did in the first 5 games. He's got 54 yards. They came back to him a little bit, but would you still like to see more of Rankin in the second half?
I absolutely do, but I want to take a look at some of the plays that we talked about at the beginning of the game. And I was talking about Jordan McSimic, the offensive coordinator, because we know that Justin Rankin is a great running back. And we want to look at what the play designs that were called. You look at this play right here. Everybody's expecting the run to go left. And what does he call? He calls a G pull. That's a toss to the right, toss it to Rankin, go outside and do your stuff. You got the guard pulling. The receivers are all blocking. He gets 17 yards, gets down the field. This is what we're used to right here. Again, here, these are creative plays. We're pulling the guards. Receivers are blocking. Runs downhill. He gets some yards again. 13 yards on this one. This play right here is all Justin Rankin. He was supposed to go inside. No, he runs outside. And Kevin Anto has an opportunity to tackle him. He gets about more 20 yards on this play, but an extra 15 or so yards that any other running back would have been tackled for the 5-yard gain. But we know the talent that Justin Rankin possesses. I don't understand. It's a head scratcher for me, for Jordan McSimic to not continue to hand him the ball, Kate.
Yeah, no, and you know what, too? I'll give Cody credit. Cody's been really good in this game, too. Quite efficient, using his legs. A lot of the reads have been good, too. And a couple of his receivers, too, letting him down. And this one right at the end, too, with Luther and then Keon Julian Grant as well. But fascinating game. Really, we have no idea what's going to happen. What we do know what's going to happen after the break, it's something we like to call
Straight Fire!
Knock 'em down, give me the crown and bring on the next. 'Cause I'm the best, and I'm the greatest. Shoot to the top, no, I won't stop, they so obsessed. Yeah, I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I'm the best.
Week number 10 wraps up in the CFL. In BC as the Lions welcome the Tiger Cats to town. Nathan Rourke returns after missing the past 3 games. It's Harrison Frost on the other side. Frosty. If he can get going, there are some fantastic graphics we can make for him. You can see that tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Look, you know it. You love it. It's your highlights. We will be reading them. It's something we like to call
Straight Fire!
Get us going tonight.
Let's start U16 Triple A semifinal. Breton Bulldog. They're attempting a trick play here. It gets intercepted, but if you keep watching, watch receiver. Wide receiver Taden Dawkins. He rips it. Boom! Right there. Gets it right back. And guess where he goes? Straight to the end zone. This is a receiver? Have you ever backpedaled, Taden? You should play some defense, because that play was straight fire.
I did not expect that. I did not see that one coming. U18 Women's Tackle Football Championship over in Regina, Ontario, looking to close out the semifinals. Maëlle Parthenet fakes the toss, hits Braylon Hawthorne Harper. She made that beautiful over-the-shoulder catch. She went 79 yards to the house. The team was on the field. Ontario wins the game. They won the championship. It's straight fire.
Let's go back to the CFL. Vancouver Island and West Shore. Final play of the game. Vancouver Island down, and Dylan Marino finds Blaise McCarty in the back of the end zone for the game winner. Look at this catch. It's spectacular. Do you know this is the second week in a row that Vancouver Island has been on this? And because of that, this play in Vancouver Island is what? Straight fire!
Bill, that was good. This is the play of the week, though. Ontario Summer Games, Kitchener, Ontario.
Come on now.
Pollard.
Come on now.
Come on.
One-handed.
One-handed grab. Tips it to herself.
Brooklyn goes hard.
You know
Brooklyn
what?
in the house,
You know what? You know what Brooklyn deserves right there? She deserves Dog of the Week as well. She got her medal, but that was a beauty play. Straight fire. You submit the highlights at, are you ready? Straightfire at bellmedia.ca. We need more. I feel like we haven't done enough straight fire.
Yes, that's
Have
right.
we?
That's right. Yes, we need more.
No, we have not. All right, meanwhile, we got a great game currently in Montreal. 24-17 Alouettes. We will get you back there right after this.
Welcome back to Montreal. 24-17 your score. The Alouettes up over the Elks. The Edmonton defense doing everything they can despite those 24 points, and led by now the league leader in interceptions, Tyrell Ford. He's alongside our Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Tyrell, you've been able to read this offense well. 2 picks for yourself. What are you seeing out there?
I mean, one was a trick play, and I kind of just felt it coming. The receiver didn't try to block me, so I was able to see it. And then the other one, Davis was scrambling, and I was just reading him, and I made a play.
What do you think are going to be the biggest challenges for your defense in order to contain this Alouettes offense?
All we got to do is tackle. I feel like we missed a lot of tackles. We got a lot of leaky yards, but other than that, we're fine.
Great, have fun.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Always love talking to the Ford brothers, the most straightforward guys in the world. Yeah, he didn't block me, so I just ran backwards and picked it. Oh, it seems simple. Except you run a 4-3 and cover more ground than anybody. Amazing stuff from Tyrell Ford. He takes some pictures at halftime. In that secondary as well, by the way, Kenneth Logan Jr. I see on the sidelines in sweatpants, so he is done for the ball game currently.
Yeah, and again, Cordell Jackson, outstanding boundary halfback. He's the guy who shifts down to that nickel linebacker spot. Leonard Johnson comes into his spot at half, so a little shuffling of the deck, but Cordell Jackson, one of their top defenders in Edmonton, moving positions.
I tell you, as well as we get set to go here with the weather, 28 feeling like 37, gusting up to 28 kilometers an hour with the wind. As the ball fell off the tee for a moment, we're dodging some storms. This is like Edmonton last week, where the panel just kept saying, don't look at it. Don't look at the dark clouds. They'll disappear. Thankfully, right now, we got beautiful sunshine and hot football weather in August, as it should be, as Austin Mack back in Montreal and hits the turf to open up this second half as he trails by 7 points. We get a look at this first half of action as well. Pretty efficient.
Yeah, not surprising to see Austin Mack emerge, as he usually does, as one of Cody Fajardo's favorite targets in the first half of this, piling up enough yardage that he has surpassed last season's total with the Alouettes already this year.
Fort Wayne, Indiana, the Ohio State proud Buckeye.
Very proud Buckeye, yes.
Fajardo looks to throw, goes to Mack. Goes to that wide side, nice catch into the sun, as well as Mack fights for extra yardage as well. Was an honorary captain against the Alouettes earlier on this season. He's bounced around in this offense from X to Y to W. Now he's used the waggle to his advantage, just like this.
Yeah, and a nice effort after the catch here, as well as is contained essentially positionally by 2 defenders, but drops the shoulder, turns the legs, fighting for those extra yards to pick up the first down for his team.
Hoping to go 3 for 3 on Grey Cup trips. There's Austin Mack. A pretty good club. Gives him a shot to do it. These Edmonton Elks, as Justin Rankin starts to turn the legs, flag flies. And Rankin, stiff arms Lorenzo Burns, pushed down after a gain of about 12 yards. Looks like this one's coming back.
Holding, Edmonton, number 68. It's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Go against the right tackle, Jordan Murray. He's trying to block down. You can see tie up his man a little bit. This edge rusher tried to fight his way back out to Rankin to make a play.
Jordan Murray, who's right up there with John Boss and Marquez Ivey in terms of tackles with the longest arms currently in the Canadian Football League. It's a reach advantage, but that one goes against them. As they'll throw a quick little swing out this time. Ento rips the football loose. Austin Mack dropped the football. And the Alouettes are on top of it.
Wondered if Mack might have been down on the play, but certainly no protesting there from the Edmonton receiver. You know, and I felt like the pass on that sort of bubble screen led him close to his blockers, that Mack didn't really have an opportunity to get his head up to sort of pick his path. He was immediately into contact. And whether it was his path, if you'd like to see him bubble, like sort of belly a little bit deeper in his route, or have Cody Fajardo slow him up a little bit in terms of the placement of the throw, but he was right on the heels of his blockers when he caught that football and just not in a great position to see the pursuit coming to him.
A great rep as well by Robert Kennedy as he dented back the receiver trying to block for Austin Mack, and then actually looks like he forced the fumble as Montreal begins with an inside handoff. And the always downhill Nick Anderson makes the play as Ento celebrates with the rest of the Montreal defense.
Ento, another one of those Montreal defenders who had missed a little time because of injuries. But ultimately, you know, backups getting an opportunity to play. And a team like the Alouettes just adds depth for them as the season goes on. Depth and experience.
Alexander looks to throw. Tyson Philpott almost lost his footing coming out of the break on that little 10-yard in route on 2nd and 9. And stayed up just long enough to make the grab.
Yeah, you'll see the contact. Jalen Garnes coming downhill to deliver a blow here, but great concentration from Philpott to squeeze that and hang on unaffected by the blow.
On that career high pace. Unreal, 2,300 receiving yards. The projection at this point for Tyson Philpott based on plays like that is Alexander with Snead opening the end zone. Touchdown! Alouettes as they extend their lead. 32 big ones for the major.
Absolute strike from this Alouette team that has so many ways to hurt you. Tyler Snead down the hash marks in behind coverage. Gets the attention of Davis Alexander. And you look at the swing as we talk about Edmonton deciding to kick the field goal, not go for it late in the first half.
Yep.
You anticipate that this could be back-to-back scores for the Elks. Good return, big play, sets up to Tyler Snead. Sets up an Alouette field goal before the end of the first half. A turnover here allows Montreal to get the first points of this third quarter. And suddenly, it's a 2-score football game.
Great point, Dwayne. 3 plays, 43 yards is all it took after Austin Mack had the ball ripped away. Davis Alexander, it looks like the warm-up he does every game, chucking it as deep as he can. Back to Montreal is Tyler Snead. Just a casual day, 4 for 131. Why not? Just another day in the office.
Tyler Snead and Tyson Philpott. 1 and 2 come into this week. 1 and 2 in the Canadian Football League in receiving. And continuing here today, Snead over 100 already in the ballgame. Couple of big plays. Philpott with 2 TDs. But you devote all your energy even to trying to shut down the pass game, getting over the top, making sure they don't get the big plays. Well, Travis Tyson's kind of scary too.
Makes you wonder What are we supposed to do with the MOP vote for the Alouettes? I know that accolades and awards don't matter right now. They're just worried about wins and playoff and Grey Cup, but I mean, they're all kind of on MOP pace. It's a great problem to have if you're the Montreal Alouettes offense. Steamy day here in Quebec as we roll on in Q3. The NSL presented by BMO continues tomorrow as Ottawa Rapid FC take on AFC Toronto. Tune in Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on TSN. Speaking of BMO, who's down there on Thursday, the in-game presentation, the Argonauts after the FIFA World Cup rolled through. Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Crazy. Sweets and screens and light shows, and I was having One Republic flashbacks to the Grey Cup there in 17, 16? It was wild to experience what the World Cup brought to that stadium. Long wait for the Argonauts. They came home, somehow got the victory despite 4 interceptions from Chad Kelly as the Stampeders' Ontario road trip ended on a sour note. And their Alberta rivals with Labor Day looming large and coming in quickly, trailing here by 2 scores against the Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah, big series here for the Edmonton Elks as they look to try and get back in this one. Again, kind of playing from behind through the entire first half, and they had an opportunity to flip that script as the first half wound down, second half started. But the Montreal Alouettes, with big plays on both offense and defense, and swung it the other way.
Blitz coming, Tyrese Beverett off the edge. It's a good thing Fajardo handed it off, or there would have been an explosion between ex-teammates as the 2023 Grey Cup MVP with the Alouettes handed it off to Justin Rankin, who went and got the first down.
Tyrese Beverett, you can see him getting ready to roll. Timing it up, hits it running. Run called away. Good yard there for the Elks.
Big bodies in here for Edmonton as they'll hand it off and pushing back the running lane. Looks like that was Brendan Bordner getting walked back into the middle of the pile. I think Wal Uguak was the one that escorted him about 4 yards deep into his own backfield, which made it difficult for Justin Rankin to pick up the yardage.
Yeah, Uguak just denting middle of that offensive line to sort of screw up the timing and flow of that play.
So many weapons for Noel Thorpe here, Brian. I mean, it's the rotation of guys. Adiemi Berglund, Beverett, Micah Awe in there, Josh Archibald. Add Goudry to the pile. As now they'll throw in on cue. Tyrese Beverett.
One of the most versatile defenders in the Canadian Football League, listed as a weak side linebacker, but watch where he starts off in the box. It essentially lined up over the center, and he's ranging out to get all the way out to make a play underneath the wide receiver. College safety, broke into the Canadian Football League as a backup linebacker, dominant special teams player. Started off playing teams when he first came to Montreal, but when he got a chance to get on the field on defense, basically Noel Thorpe couldn't take him off.
I love the Venn diagram Mike Awe explained earlier this year of we got defensive ends that are kind of linebackers and linebackers that are kind of DBs and DBs that are kind of linebackers, and that's what makes it so confusing. The muddy picture that teams have to play against the Montreal defense is never muddy what the Alouettes want to do through the passing attack. More yardage and after the catch for Tyson Philpott.
And the screen game, obviously, high percentage play to get the ball into the hands of your playmakers. Tyson Philpott being first and foremost on that list.
Philpott a little bit winded, but in midseason form, clearly with the way that he's getting in and out of the huddle. Anthony Calvillo never feels like he's really forcing it to Philpott, which maybe that's the secret sauce that's allowed them to have so much success going to number 6's. Travis Tice runs through the arm tackle of Joel DeBlanco and gets the first down.
Alexander has any fun playing this game?
So relaxed. Get the sense, too, because of his exceptional win-loss record as a starter and at home. He's never lost, whether you're talking playoffs, regular season. That Davis Alexander just kind of takes a peek around at Percival Molson and goes, yep, this is home.
We're good.
Doesn't matter what the situation is. He just knows things will turn out okay, and they certainly have time over time. And he hands it off to Travis Tice, who has really burst onto the scene this season with runs like that, supporting Alexander and giving Montreal such an interesting back-and-forth dynamic.
Yeah, I think, as you say, Davis Alexander takes a look around Percival Molson Stadium, feels at home. I think Davis Alexander takes a look around the huddle and sees terrific offensive line in front of him and so many options of where he can go with the football. As you see Travis Tice picking up steam here this season as well. His numbers over the last 4 games.
Terry Wilson in ball game, handling short yardage. Goes to the left-hand side and will pick it up. In terms of X's and O's, you're playing against the Montreal Alouettes. It's oversimplified to say, well, take away the run, and then you give up a bunch to Sneed and Philpott, or you say, well, let's sit back and let's double this guy and that guy. There's not enough bodies in the box. Here comes Travis Tice. But in all seriousness, there is no correct answer based on the way that Calvillo, Moss, and Alexander are shaping this offense.
Yeah, so many different things. I mean, we've seen Davis Alexander so often make plays using his legs, not even necessarily running the football, but getting out on the edge, extending plays and that sort of thing. You think, well, is the key to keep him in the pocket? Well, no, because he's killing people from there too.
Hand it off again to Tice here. On 1st and 10. Running through the Malik Carney arm tackle. Robbie Smith in there. Cordell Jackson ripping at the football. Can't get it loose. Never takes one to bring down Travis Tice. Gain of 8.
Yeah, and I think this goes to Tyrell Ford's point in his halftime interview is one of the things that you have to do against the Montreal Alouettes. You need to be sure on tackles. If you're going to limit the damage, you can't sort of give second effort yards. You get hands on Travis Tice or Tyson Philpott on a screen, whatever it is, you got to make those plays and then ultimately try to avoid giving up the big plays. Alouettes are going to make plays. Don't give up the big plays, the explosive.
Terry Wilson plunges forward for another gain. But the twin dynamics, Wayne, we've been kind of enamored by this, and we're seeing with Montreal holding the football, 2/4 of the Fords and the Philpotts, and you've been enamored by this as well this season.
Well, you know, fascinated as you have Tyson Philpott leading the Canadian Football League in receiving, Tyrell Ford now leading the Canadian Football League in interceptions. And one of the things Tyrell brought up this week when we asked him, is there any rivalry between the twins? He said, no, like they would have been at the combine together, got to know each other in 2022. But one of the things he has suggested is a study on twins.
We'll get to that in a second. Is this one big collision and hanging on to it. Tyler Sneed, diminutive, 5'7", 187, but plays like he's 6'5", 220.
Big crowd in traffic. You'll see him coming out of the slot here. Working across the middle, right into the teeth of this coverage. Gold helmets descending on him, but absolutely fearless, fully extended. Takes a little bit of a shoulder to the side of the head there, but absolutely unfazed as Tyler Sneed.
Rashawn Baker in as the running back, giving a break to Travis Tice for a couple of snaps here as Alexander looks to the right, comes back left, and now has to use his legs. And he'll try to back shoulder it, incomplete for Tyson Philpott. But about that study.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so many twins being successful in football. And, you know, Tyson Philpott talked a little bit about maybe the competition, that you always have someone pushing you. But you think 2022 in that draft class, it wasn't just the Fords and the Philpotts, but also the Apollon twins,
right?
Woodley and Wesley. 3 sets of twins selected in the same draft. The next year, the Brown twins go. Sidney and Chase Brown both go in the NFL draft. But in the CFL draft as well, we've seen Kasim Ferdinand. He is a twin.
Yep.
Eric Cumberbatch.
Yep.
In Ottawa is a twin. All of these guys Canadian. So next up,
Davis Alexander rolls to his right and looks for Cole Speaker, thrown in behind and incomplete on 2nd and 10. So the field goal unit comes out. So what you're saying is if you happen to be having children, they're Canadian, and you have twins, you go, honey, we got some CFLers.
We got to get these guys in football. And so next up, keep an eye coming down the road, the Lumen twins, who started off their college careers at Rutgers, transferred this year, both in the package deal. Ty Clean and Ty Coolhill Lumen, defensive ends, pair of defensive ends. So you could have twin bookends. These guys are from Montreal, played their their high school football in Florida. But they'll be at Florida Atlantic University this year. So the next set of Canadian football twins to watch for.
Owls on the prowl. FAU getting a couple of Canadian kids and potentially future Alouettes if Danny Machocha has anything to say about it. Twinning is winning. Only one of them will get the victory here today. Tyson in front of Tyrell, 34-17. Cody Fajardo with that massive 500-yard gain that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. The top 25 just ahead of him in his career, specifically against the Montreal Alouettes. Again, before and after his time here, pretty good, but certainly looks like there might be a number 2 showing up at the end of that win-loss record by the end of this one.
Well, the way the Alouettes have picked up momentum here since the end of the second quarter, certainly putting that mark in some jeopardy.
If Fajardo can work some magic like he did for the Alouettes in 2023 with Austin Mack as he goes to number 3, and Mack steps out of bounds in front of Lorenzo Burns for a first down.
You think at this point, perhaps you may see the Elks trying to look to push that ball down the field a little bit if they can get that Alouette defense to jump some of the shorter stuff. And Cody would welcome the opportunity.
Fajardo drop and throws this one into the turf, incomplete. Robert Kennedy there in coverage on TJ Luther, who's been a standout rookie for the Elks this year. I love what Kenzie Long was asking Cody this week about, I believe it's actually Austin Mack, about coming back home and playing against his former team. She didn't even get the question out before he said, I love John with those guys every day in practice. So you already know what's going to happen in the game. I can't believe I'm lucky enough I get to go play in this environment and play against these players in this kind of a game.
Well, you know Jason Moss, everything they do in Montreal is built around competition.
Now Fajardo escapes. Looking down the field, scramble rules on, nobody really home, and Cody decides to stay up. Oh, God. Nate Beauchemin ends up on top of Fajardo. An awkward one running towards the sideline.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation to me for defensive players because obviously they are so aware of protecting quarterbacks, not hitting a guy who's sliding. And I think you see the 2 Alouette defenders in front of Cody Fajardo and Ento and Guidry. I think they're both anticipating a slide, so they don't want to hit him. But Cody's not sliding. Cody's trying to get to the first down marker. It just puts defensive players in such a bind because of the penalty.
I think that Fajardo maybe trying to draw a penalty as well at the end by pumping and then staying up. Gets the needed yardage with his legs, goes back to Mack. He almost does the splits as it falls incomplete. A little bit shallow, blowing away.
Again, a Montreal defense playing without Mustafa Johnson, Jeffrey Canton-Arcou, Najee Murray, Wesley Sutton, all well-established players. Important parts for Noel Thorpe. But you see the depth of this team with guys just stepping up, making plays, getting the job done.
David Beard making some last-second calls at center in the middle of that offensive line. It leads to a check-down throw to Brendan O'Leary-Orange, who might have gotten the first down on 2nd and 10. And they will move the sticks.
Yeah, we've seen O'Leary-Orange a few times work in the middle of the field here. Gets off a little bit of contact right at the line of scrimmage, just fighting into that open space over the middle. Big towering target for Cody Fajardo posting up.
Every time we see the end zone camera on a simple looking play like that, it makes you realize how difficult every single snap is at quarterback. There's people flying around, these tiny little windows, guys checking down in front of you. Fajardo makes it look easy so often as he'll go to the backside this time and completes Austin Mack. And a flag is throwing in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, late one here at the end of the play.
It was the umpire, Mike Siona, who called the penalty here. Communicates it with Justin McInnes, our referee. A gain of 9 for now.
Appearing to go against the defense here. I'm not sure if there was kind of a contact on Fajardo.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Montreal number 90. It's a 10-yard penalty. It'll be first down and the end of the quarter.
Carius Hawthorne takes the flag as he has a shake of the head. Going to the fourth quarter, doubling up. The dominant double E are the Montreal Alouettes here at home as we head to the fourth and final quarter from Percival Molson after this. Welcome back to Montreal. Fourth quarter of play ahead of us. The statistics you see in front of you really come down to the Montreal offense. It's starting to outplay the Edmonton Elks, but Cody Fajardo going to give them a chance no matter what. It has been a very hot day, Dwayne Ford, so I thought we'd go down to the coolest person I know. Kenzie Lalonde is on the sidelines with
And
us.
I'm staying cool, Marshall. I got to give it to Pierre-Olivier Bou, the therapist with the Alouettes. He's got the damp towels on the sidelines for the players. I had a chance to speak with him and Brian Cheeseman, the Elks sports medicine doctor, and talk about their strategy for this heat. And they said it begins all the way back on day one. These guys are constantly monitoring the weather. It's about getting those electrolytes early in the week because by game time, it's almost too late. Of course, both therapists have the mustard. They've got the pickle juice on site, but I got to give it to P.O. with these damp towels. However, Brian Cheeseman does have a special electrolyte potion that the guys say is pretty awesome.
Thank you, Kenzie. I'm glad to see you're staying cool. I got an idea. How about we just do one of those like mist zones for like the entire upper deck in CFL stadiums in the summer? Why not? Just put a hose up there, start poking holes in it.
It certainly has been a little steamy in the east. I had a western swing for a couple of games. It was really hot out there, too.
Awe and the Montreal defense trying to maintain their level of play here in the heat. It is a week-long battle when you see the conditions coming, playing in heat like this. The great thing is we've been at Montreal plenty of times where it just breaks and turns into a crazy thunderstorm. Today, that has held off. For that, we are extremely thankful. Javon Leake in the backfield. They'll pitch it to him, going to the right-hand side, turn immediately back inside. How about Lorenzo Burns setting the edge from his corner position?
Yeah, Burns did a nice job in terms of shedding his block, stepping upfield, basically ensuring. There you see he dodges the block, gets upfield, preventing Leak from getting to that edge as the pursuit is coming from the inside.
He did everything he could, but the Montreal defense too solid on that snap. See if they can follow it up here on 2nd and 11. Austin Mack with a big waggle. Fajardo wanted to go that way, now runs himself into a bit of trouble. And they're ripping at the football, can't get it out. Battle this has been between the Montreal defensive line and an incredibly talented Elks pass protection unit throughout the day.
And the Elks have had some success today running the football, as we've talked about. Just haven't really been able to make that translate into opening up some other things for them.
Big spin move there from Isaac Adeyemi. Berglund didn't get anywhere because of the big reach advantage of Jordan Murray. But the rest of the defensive line making Fajardo uncomfortable, and coverage leads to this field goal attempt from Vincent Blanchard, who misses it. And an opportunity to return for Devontae Dedmon, and he will settle. As Brendan Bordner down there in coverage. Davis Alexander hitting the field, and the miss from Vincent Blanchard.
It's close, but sails it just wide right. Blanchard, of course, the initial winner of Milt Stiegel's Dog of the Week.
Also hitting at 96% on the season coming into this week.
This year.
Some of them at great depth as well. only miss that he had previously was 50-plus yards down the field. But that one going just wide from a shorter distance. Now Montreal likely to lean on their running game. 34-18 after the single with this field goal. Staying in the end zone and being caught by Devontae Dedmon. Travis Tice gets set to churn some clock. Jason Moss not shy to do that. Likely set up the screen game as well that we talked about earlier.
The opportunity here for Edmonton's defense to create a 2 and out after a good first down play. Again, the importance of tackling that time, limiting Travis Tice's ability to pile up yards after contact.
Second protection at the line of scrimmage, Cyril Hogan St. Dom. And this one knocked away, intended for Kasim Ferdinand. Tremendous coverage. Downhill, Kobe Williams made the play, and 2 and out.
Yeah, and this is the benefit of second and long. You're going to see the Alouettes at the line of scrimmage. They're going to send all sorts of heat. The gist here being, you see Ferdinand out of the slot, that we're going to send enough heat that he's going to have to get the ball out of his hands quickly. No routes are going to get behind us. We're going to come forward and make a play on the throw.
Came after it, tried to get a block on Joseph Zima, but couldn't. And Javon Leake will watch this one dribble over his head and roll into the end zone. Takes the quick knee. 35-18, single restored on the other side. 11:41 remaining in the fourth quarter. And Cody Fajardo, plenty of work to do if he wants to beat his old club here on the road. CFL on TSN back tonight as the Tiger Cats face the Lions at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Who's that guy?
I was going to say, you know who else is back? Nathan Rourke.
And he's up against
Kenny Lawler and the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
The throw man.
Yes, Harrison Frost making the start for the Ticats tonight as they continue to try to navigate life after Bo.
A block in the back takes the point off the board here as the officials sort things through. By the way, I reached out to June Jones on Harrison Frost. He said he had him in the XFL in 2023.
During the previous play, we had a legal block, Edmonton number 90. We're going to apply that penalty at the 15-yard line, back half the distance, no point. It'll be first down for Edmonton at the 7.5.
Well explained by Justin McInnes is the bottom right of your screen. And a little wallop into the back.
Yeah.
Just a little chuck, a little Hubert shove. June Jones to finish that note said, Harrison Frost, I knew he was my best guy in Seattle at 23 with the XFL, and when they folded, he was like, I knew he was going to end up coming up north. Knew he had the game for it, so we'll get a look at him tonight against the BC Lions. But great to have Nathan Rourke back in the fold as well, as the Lions try to mount a charge in the West against these Edmonton Elks, the Saskatchewan Roughriders as well. Calgary playing at a high level.
We talked from the start of this season about how parity would likely be a theme in the CFL this year.
Fajardo a little bit behind TJ Luther, but he makes the best of it. Nice sideline-to-sideline play by Tyrese Beverett as we get a look at the standings. It's a strange year for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers with all the home success that they have had in the past, but still look at where they are at this point in the season, and with Calgary's loss to the Toronto Argonauts having already played, top 3, top 4, interesting battle right now.
I think BC finding their way. When you look at what BC's defense has done in recent weeks, in an offense that gets Nathan Rourke back, they start to get some receivers healthy as well. As you remember, that became an issue very early for them. So don't count out the Lions in that already tight mix.
The feeling is going to go all the way to the end of the regular season. Contentious. The Alouettes here in the East with a stranglehold currently on the division. Fajardo looking to throw, rolls out, trying to hang this one away from the coverage of Robert Kennedy. Tremendous job once again by number 1 as he took it away from Keon Julian Grant.
Kennedy made an impact with the Alouettes last season. I had a brief stint with the Hamilton Tiger Cats before landing in Montreal. An injury fill-in frequently last year. Seen a little bit more playing time here in 26.
Such great ball skills. Always seems to be exactly where he needs in man coverage as 5-man pressure. Fajardo works the pocket, steps away from the heat, and then it's knocked away. Renzo Burns, after Kennedy just did it, forces the incompletion on Austin Mack.
Big series for the Alouettes secondary. Pretty good protection, affording Cody Fajardo some time there. Well-thrown ball, but well-defended play by Lorenzo Burns.
Devin, after a 51-yard punt, gets hooked in the back of the helmet. No flags fly. Davis Alexander trying to get Jason Moss his 80th career victory as a CFL head coach. Using the legs, certainly helping the advantage they hold here in the fourth quarter. Quite the battle we've seen here today between Davis Alexander and Tyrell Ford. Edmonton against Montreal. So many great iconic rivalry moments, and we might be seeing one develop here as a hit. Davis got all fired up. Then Tyrell steps in, goes and gets himself an interception. Then how about we throw a touchdown on you, Tyrell, and I come visit you and let you know about it.
Oh, we know Davis likes a little chatter. Equal opportunity chirper. Going after the CFL's interception leader with some of his talk today. Yeah, Tyrell's won his share of the battle, so.
You got to earn the right to talk, and I think they both have today. Their play speaking for itself, but create a little bit of conversation. Tyson Philpott can talk all he wants as well. Quick screen, solid gain on first down.
By the way, going back a generation, I should have mentioned the Boyko twins earlier. Allen of my era. As we have Tyrell getting in on the tackle on Tyson Philpott on the play.
I tell you, for a field corner, Tyrell Ford is around a heck of a lot of plays. And it might be because of the squeezing of the hashes or this or that, whatever you want to say, but not like they're going after him because he's not someone who can cover or tackle. Just always around the football. This time, Travis Tice knifes on 2nd and 2 for plenty more than needed. Said that plenty today.
Tice, a little bit of patience here, letting things get set up. How about Tyler Sneed, the world's smallest fullback, leading the way for Travis Tice.
You know what? I would be interested in a Dwayne Ford ranking of the smallest fullbacks. It's niche content that the whole country needs.
Yeah.
Jacob Mason listed as the fullback, the only one today with Regis Sibasu not in the lineup. Would not qualify, big man. And still try to lead this time for Travis Tice. Running through arm tackles again. Joel DeBlanco frustrated on that one as he just couldn't get enough. Tice.
Alouettes giving a little bit of a full house look in their backfield. Tice, Jacob Mason, Tyler Sneed in there as well. That counter.
Interesting as well with the four horsemen of the Alouettes. Who are they throwing back there? They got plenty of bodies. This time looks like Pierre-Olivier Lestage might have been a little quick out of his stance.
Procedure, Montreal, number 66. It's 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
A solid reset to try and save the day.
Procedure.
I think we can all agree. But Lestage, one of the best on a dominant unit. That face mask tells you everything you need to know about his game. Paint peeling off the metal. Alexander with a deep drop as Montreal controls, and Alexander wants the home run. What a bomb to Tyson Philpott!
Absolute strike. Terrific protection, which you need on the deep routes. Allow them time to develop. And just a great adjustment to the flight of that football from Tyson Philpott. Third touchdown of the day for the CFL's leading receiver.
Speaks for itself. On days like this, the 7-1 Alouettes headed for their 8th victory in a trio of majors for the unstoppable Tyson Philpott.
Well, Tyson Philpott, the man of the moment, outside receiver here. Bend it in a little bit, then take it vertical. It looked almost as if the Edmonton secondary was anticipating on the slant portion of that he was going to settle or throttle a little bit, and Philpott just never broke stride, accelerated as he turns it into a go route. Davis Alexander hits him on the fly.
What a day for Tyson Philpott here at home in front of a Alouettes crowd. Saturday afternoon football, thriving in the heat. Said at halftime to Kenzie Lalonde that he loves it, just have to execute and enjoy his surroundings. Well, it's a lot easier to enjoy what you're doing when you're this good at finding the football and adjusting mid-flight.
Yeah, just fantastic catch. Jason Moss absolutely loving it.
Lap at the stadium celebrating that one, rightfully so, as he let it fly. The pace the football comes out of his hands sometimes is unbelievable. This time, almost intercepted. Now a flag will hit the turf. Alouettes players all over the field, peeling themselves up. For that next turnover, the next big play that gets this crowd excited.
Yeah, Burns getting a jump on the ball. Trying to hit this slant on the outside. Burns anticipates it, kind of gets inside position.
Montreal number 20. It's going to be a 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down for Edmonton.
Football, but Burns looked like he got there a little bit early. Challenge flag is out from Jason Moss with 5:21 remaining in the fourth.
Montreal is challenging the previous ruling on the field of pass interference. Play will be reviewed.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's one thing if he comes through the back shoulder of the receiver to get to the ball, but I really thought that Burns got position in front of Austin Mack on this one, as we'll take another look. So there's Burns out on the corner, Mack, the intended receiver on the slant. Burns is looking at the quarterback, so he's anticipating this. Does he bump the receiver off his route, or is he just there first?
Right.
Discuss amongst yourselves.
Well, they are in the replay center right now, and Jason Moss, ever the competitor, with a 41-18 lead. Doesn't matter if there's 5:21 remaining or 0.1 remaining. He's going to throw the challenge flag if he disagrees with the call, as Davis Alexander continues to enjoy the environment. Career high 4 touchdowns for Davis Alexander, as we have the call. Justin McInnes, our referee.
After review by the replay center, the call on the field has been overturned. There is no defensive pass interference. It's going to be second down.
I, as you know, agree with the call. So that goes down as an incompletion. Good play by Burns.
2nd and 10. Fajardo looks downfield and caught TJ Luther just across the midfield stripe. Edmonton likely to pick up the pace a little bit here after a gain of 18.
Got Luther, as you mentioned earlier, Marsh, one of the top rookies in the Canadian Football League so far this season. Big addition to that Edmonton receiving corps.
Fajardo down the sideline and on the rail. Losing his footing was Austin Mack. He thought he got pulled down by Lorenzo Burns as their battle continues on this drive.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mack suggesting that he had some help losing his footing. And this a battle that no doubt took place a lot in practice over the last year or so in Montreal.
Edmonton is challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference. Play will be reviewed.
Here I think the offense has a case.
I would agree. In real time, it did look like an awkward gathering of the feet, but probably enough contact before the football was there to change things up.
If you take a look here and see how they're Burns kind of has him wrapped up before the ball arrives on this play. Ball's in flight, arm wrapped around the back. I suspect with the benefit of replay, a relatively easy call.
Cody Fajardo wishing for the call, which we get now.
After review by the replay center, with pass interference, Montreal number 20. Ball will be placed at the 33-yard line and an automatic first down for Edmonton.
So for Lorenzo Burns, back-to-back plays, you win some, you lose some.
The definition of you win some, you lose some right there.
Breaking even.
Kind of see on Mark Killam's reaction to a successful challenge, though, a little bit more annoyance and just being one of them days. With 18 points on the board for his 6-2 Edmonton Elks. And keep in mind, those losses, back-to-back weeks, something they haven't experienced, is now Mack dropped into the end zone. What a throw! Cody Fajardo to Austin Mack, turning back the clock here in Montreal to their days in red, white, and blue.
Well, a magnificent throw from Cody Fajardo, but I love the job that Austin Mack did tracking this football, as it's essentially coming in directly over his head. He's got defenders on either side of him, but just calmly adjusts, follows the flight of the football as it lands softly in his hands. Made a difficult catch look very easy.
Those Owls fans or Austin Mack fans? Regardless.
Both, right?
Exactly. You get
in the history, you
high five in the end zone. They'll go for two after just a minute 14 to reach the end zone. Fajardo left, then right, and trying to settle down. DJ Luther, throw was high and away. And Boscheman and Ento there in the coverage. 3:57 remaining, 41-24. We get another look at the touchdown toss. Fajardo.
Austin Mack adjusting, taking that one in over his shoulder. End zone here at Percival Molson Stadium, very familiar to the Elks number 3. Edmonton going for 2 to try and turn this into a 2-possession football game. And
Fajardo working his eyes and then just off the mark. Biggest target, TJ Luther, but we tried to squeeze it in between 2 defenders in a spot that he just couldn't. So some frustration for the double E, but regardless, a successful and quick touchdown drive, which is exactly what the doctor ordered as the Ticats and Lions coming up. Watching on this one, I'm sure have used in place. As they get set to go round out week number 10. Hard to believe we're already in the double digits.
A fun year so far, I must say.
Lots of great storylines.
Yeah, no question. Obviously, my Elks looking like they are preparing to kick short here.
Shard lines it up and will go dribble on the onside. Looks like it might have hit Cole Speaker, but makes its way through. And the ever smooth Tyson Philpott might be the #1 adjective we have to use for Tyson Philpott. Just smooth. Everything he does looks smooth. Even when he's diving backwards and making ridiculous touchdown catches, which I will say as well, peel back the curtain a little bit. We got on the Zoom with him this week, and we're both hot saying, "Hey Tyson, how are you? Congrats on being mediocre."
Yeah.
And he has the ability to laugh at himself. He goes, "Thanks, guys."
Yeah, giving him a little bit of a hard time.
He can play along. He has a sense of humor about it, which again,
a lot of fun to talk to.
Speaks to the Alouettes locker room as well, right? Because I'm sure guys are getting all over him for getting all sorts of attention. So short field after the attempted onside here. They'll go right back to Philpott after he had the onside recovery.
Yeah, I think given their little friendly wager between Philpott and Sneed for the yards after catch, I think Tyler Sneed is happy with, he's fine with the touchdowns because he's catching the ball in the end zone. He's not piling up yak, but maybe cringing a little bit to see the hitch screens here late in the game.
Gone to that place several times over. And just enough of a little bit of a bubble that Philpott's able to find himself into, and getting the big left tackle Nick Callender and Pierre-Olivier Lestage, the left guard, out in front. And Davis Alexander sailing his way towards an 8-1 record with Tyler Sneed, Tyrese Beverette, Travis Tice, and the rest of the Owls playing their role. Montreal Alouettes in control here as we reach the 3-minute warning in this fourth quarter. And what a day for Tyson Philpott. He's been so consistent throughout this year, just the mind-boggling pace that he's been on. And we mentioned the adjective smooth just kind of follows him around regardless of what his assignment is. But today it's hadn't had a touchdown in near a month. Yeah. And then does the old, you know what, I'll just go get 3 in one afternoon. Why not?
Three touchdown game to boost the average. You know, we were talking to Edmonton's running back coach, Jabari Arthur, you see there before the game, who coached the Philpott twins.
Oh, they're going back to Philpott. He couldn't. Could he? No, knocked away. Last second, it was almost a fourth major as Leonard Johnson will give Tyson a little laugh as they go back and forth.
Yeah, a little chatter going on there, but yeah, Jabari Arthur had the opportunity to coach the Philpott twins. He ran the offense at the University of Calgary, played a significant role in helping recruit the twins there. So, you know, Jabari, some mixed emotions, feeling a little bit of pride in the success of Tyson Philpott, seeing him do well. But at the same time, yeah, just cringing as they're on different sides today.
A challenge flag has come out here from Jason Moss. We saw in the super slow-mo that the contact did come before the ball got there. Looked bang, bang at the time. See Moss saying, yeah,
Montreal
before the ball.
is challenging the previous play for pass interference. Play will be reviewed.
Jabari, by the way, one of my favorite guys when I was in training camp with the Calgary St. Peters in 2013.
Yeah.
Because we were both doing nothing. We're just standing on the sideline. Little did I know he was going to go into coaching and recruit those guys, but tremendous talent. Awesome player, great guy. He made me laugh more in 10 days in Calgary training camp with the U Sports CFL internship than I think I ever have before.
Terrific receiver, great quarterback at the CFL level. Yeah. Initially went down as a quarterback, moved to receiver, ends up being the leading receiver down there. First round pick in the CFL draft, who battled some injuries along the way, but certainly on his way to a great coaching career. Did a terrific job at UFC, and now his first year on Mark Killam's staff here in Edmonton.
The call. Here's Justin McInnes.
After review, we have pass interference, Edmonton number 32. Ball in place at the 1-yard line, automatic first down.
Saw Davis Alexander celebrating, but not putting the helmet on because he's saying, you know what? I've done my work.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't work from the 1.
I mean, I could, but I'm not gonna. So short yardage in for the Alouettes offense. They've already added an exclamation mark or 2 to this afternoon's game. See if they can tag another. There's Terry Wilson. We'll go to the left-hand side. Flag hits the skies. Likely offside, and their signal as of right now, did they get the stop?
Offside, Edmonton defensive line. We will replay the down at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, you can see a couple of fingers just in front of the yellow stripe there.
And how many times in your distinguished CFL and TSN career have you had to draw the line?
Yes.
At the 1. I'm gonna say there's the line.
Yeah, stay behind the plane of the goal line, if you will.
Careful. Okay, we're good. Terry Wilson off to the right-hand side. The Alouettes offense continues to rack up points.
Can't give Montreal too many second chances.
Kind of a tertiary storyline in this Alouettes attack, but Terry Wilson taking over short yardage from Dustin Crum. Didn't have that on my bingo card for 2026 based on Crum's history.
Now Wilson joining the Alouettes practice roster a few weeks ago, promoted to the active roster, a guy who had filled this role with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers previously. And doing it very effectively here for the Montreal Alouettes.
The wave rings out around Percival Molson Stadium. Incredibly hot, muggy day. Looks like some relief might be on the way later this evening for Montreal, but these fans have stayed here. They've stayed in it. They are passionate. They were tailgating for hours. The boys are out. The tarps are off. And Philpott's in the end zone 3 times.
The Alouettes coming as advertised today. You can never go wrong with Sweet Carolina.
This also, I realized today, Dwayne, the only city in which you can just be walking down the sidewalk and randomly hear Country Roads being sung by about 50 people down the street. Just stuff happens in Montreal, you know? It's just an energy.
It is a happening city. If you have never been to Montreal in the summertime, put it on your list.
The energy from the city makes its way in here to Percival Molson. This place is rocking, and I don't expect it's going to slow down at any point as the summer continues into the fall. Based on the way that these guys are playing right now. Edmonton Elks had their party last week at Commonwealth. Montreal gets theirs at home today as Javon Leake, the returner, and Shakespeare Louis makes the special teams tackle.
The rookie from Ottawa getting an opportunity here with some injuries, makes his way onto the active roster, playing some teams. Then you're done.
It'll just be the end of the game, but gotta admit, for a guy that we watched at the Combine this year, and we were talking about back and forth ahead of the CFL draft, to see him get on and make a big play like that, pretty exciting. Big moment.
Second-round pick for the Elks this year.
His young career. Cody Fajardo is done for the day. His pass is thrown by Taylor Powell, backup quarterback. Reps few and far between since signing the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Taylor Powell, you see the career 4-6 record. You know, played early in his career with Hamilton. Injuries led to him seeing a lot of time.
Lead underneath, Brendan O'Leary Orange. In the backfield, by the way, alongside Taylor Powell is also Isaiah Knight, who's the third-round draft pick, also from Ottawa, like we're talking about Shakespeare Louis. They're all from Ottawa, eh?
Listen, we could have talked for hours with this about this when Jesse Palmer was with us earlier, right? But the world of amateur football, the grassroots football in Ottawa, and the players produced in that part of the country is unreal.
Snappy release from Powell this time, complete again to Brendan O'Leary Orange. But yeah, I don't know what they're doing in the nation's capital. The programs, the development, the training buddies, all the rest. It is year over year, we're seeing just a ridiculous amount of talent coming out of that area.
Yeah, I mean, so many different minor football programs. Big shout out to Victor Todondo and Gridiron Academy that has produced so many high-end players from the capital region.
Powell moving the Elks easily here against top coverage, and Knight does get onto the stat sheet. Hauled in and brought down by Green, who's been active in his early days in the Alouettes defense. First start back in week 9 last week. 9 total tackles, highest single game tackle total by an Alouette this season, and a TFL, as you see why right there.
Just exploding to the football, wrapping up, low center of gravity, drive the legs to finish the tackle.
Powell looks left and then decides to escape. Nobody open, so works it, pumps, and uses his legs. Potentially the future of the Edmonton Elks on display here. Obviously, they'd prefer to not be getting doubled up on the road. A little peek into why Taylor Powell has people excited, and honestly, why people in Hamilton wish they still had one Taylor Powell right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who I found very impressive in his time in Hamilton. You know, but the re-emergence of Bo Levi Mitchell basically limited his opportunity to get back on the field.
Tremendous skill set, and one of those classic stories of a guy who gets to sit and learn and develop. Checks this one underneath, and Knight puts a shoulder down and runs through Nate Boschman. As a flight comes up on the tackle. Looks like Guthrie was a little bit late out of bounds.
Isaiah Knight was a dominant force.
Unnecessary roughness. Montreal number 44. 15 yards from the end of the play. First down.
Knight just outstanding during his time with the UBC Thunderbirds under head coach Blake Bell.
One of those draft things that we both love as well is taking Skylar Griffith and Isaiah Knight in the same draft and the same CFL team. Perfect. Just body types and mentality, and it goes to what Ed Hervey was talking about last week at home against Saskatchewan. Powell takes the snap, works the way through the pocket, sidearms as he takes a hit, and right at the goal line as a flag is out. Touchdown, Edmonton. Powell took a shot and delivered the football, but slow onto his feet. Paid the price.
Taylor Powell competing right to the end. Looking for the rookie Carter Kettle out of the University of Alberta, corner of the end zone. Did
Roughing
he keep
the
it off the
passer.
ground?
Montreal number 26. That 15 yards will be applied on the kickoff. Touchdown's good.
Kettle did well to get his hands underneath that one. Taylor Powell knows the hit's coming. He's just running laterally here to buy time. Just gets buried just after he throws that football.
We've seen Isaiah Smith. We talked Skylar Griffith. We had Shakespeare Louis making a play. Carter Kettle gets a touchdown as well. A young, rising Canadian talent.
Two division-leading teams building through the draft.
Powell, after taking the hit, stays on as they'll go for 2 once again, trying to tag another double on the 7-play, 70-plus yard drive that took just a minute 38. Powell throws into a spot, and nobody home. Complete as we get another look at the touchdown. And Powell got thumped at the end of it, but beautiful delivery, low and away.
Yeah, just waiting for something to come open, so he's not going to approach the line of scrimmage, just running laterally. Given his opportunity to throw the ball alive, finds Carter Kettle working back towards him.
And just enough to hang on to it as well. Looked like it might have peeked through the hands.
Did a great job initially to get his hands underneath that football.
Powell just making sure the arms went up from the officials as he peeled himself up off the turf.
Carter Kettle joining some of the big boys, Carter O'Donnell, Martin Cordy, David Beard, among those who were coached at the University of Alberta by now Elks president Chris Morris.
Must be nice not to have to change out your wardrobe going from university to the pros. As Davis Alexander all smiles on the sideline as he should be. He's going to enjoy this one. Towel wrapped around the neck of Davis Alexander and no helmet in sight. It looks like Dustin Crum might be ready to play out the final seconds. Taking a knee for receiving the kick. Tyrell Richards. Savvy special teamer. Doesn't often get a return, usually on the tackling end.
Yes.
Knows how to play the game. Dustin Crum, former Ottawa Red Black. Go look at his season in 2025. And on the road and the nearest opponent, the CFL's East Division. And Davis Alexander rounds things out with a whopping 6 incompletions to go with those 4 touchdowns. Always a good thing when those 2 numbers are close. Sean Baker in at running back, he gets the touch. They shut down Travis Tice as well for the afternoon. Well earned. The Alouettes look like a full value team as we head towards the end of week number 10 here, Dwayne.
Well, a Montreal team that went to Grey Cup last year, defeated in the big game by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Many people with these two teams leading their respective divisions coming in, billing this as a potential Grey Cup preview. The Alouettes perhaps sending a little bit of a message with what has turned into a fairly dominant victory.
Philpott, reason to smile yet again. Continues to show that his early season pace, which admittedly we can be guilty in the media at times of, you're 2 weeks into a year.
It's not me. It's not me, it's you guys.
I love getting overly excited, irrationally excited at week 2, and I go, this guy's on pace for 48 touchdowns. He's gonna break Flutie's record. Usually when you get to week 10, the reality starts to set in. We're getting close to Labor Day. These teams now have identities. They have built through the first 2 months, 2.5 months of the season to get here. And like we said right off the top, as long as Tyson Philpott is healthy, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with when paired with Davis Alexander. His return comes from the Elks. Clock strikes 0, and Javon Leake will add to his always impressive annual combined yardage total. But Tyson Philpott plays king here in Montreal. Wayne, as Davis Alexander has another reason to smile and keeps on rolling.
Yeah, and the story, not just of these two guys. You see a great moment between two friends and former teammates doing battle today, but great respect between Alexander and Cody Fajardo. But this Montreal offense, so explosive, capable of getting after it in so many ways. But let's also talk about the depth of a Montreal defense missing 4 starters today and still coming up big.
There's a big hug from Jason Moss alongside Ed Hervey and Cody Fajardo as well. Plenty of connections between these two clubs, but the Alouettes, their only loss of the season came to Edmonton. They avenged that here today, despite Tyrell Ford having a heck of a game. And next up is the Tiger Cats and the Lions, as Montreal controls the East. All paths to a Grey Cup will likely go through them if they keep playing like this. The Edmonton Elks will regroup and set for week number 11 in the Canadian Football League. For Kenzie Lalonde and Dwayne Ford, I'm Marshall Ferguson. Thanks so much for watching.